Potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams. Whether it's retirement or your first home, the deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
When your driveway's covered in snow, Toro and the Lawnmower Hospital have you covered. Toro's gas or battery-powered single-stage power-clear snowblowers make it easy to clear right down to the concrete with incredible Toro-powered propel technology.
Maybe the first ship, the opening save the Toro. He ripped it home from the left side. It's 4-0 to 14 minutes in.
I'm Rick Showers, and even though it's a few months past Thanksgiving, I want to give thanks right now.
They needed that.
This is the time
Bill made that save.
RV show and buy their new RVs.
All the new RV stores are bragging about the latest makes and models.
That's right, Bob. Those beautiful state-of-the-art RVs are brand new.
Under a minute. The two-possession game.
Just like that. Somebody pays full price at the RV show or at the new RV store, and in a matter of seconds,
Under a minute.
less, just because they picked it up.
Where does all that money go?
Gillespie. Three tickets for a goal. The other way. Santos. Wow. 20 to 5. Warrior run.
NobleRV.ca.
Longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5 plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Wow. 20 to 5. Warrior run.
On Sports 1440.
Under a minute.
The two-possession game.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Bill made that save they needed at that time. Hello, chance and Marner scores. He ripped it home from the left side. And the Golden Knights are blowing out the Kings. It's 4-0. Less than 14 minutes in.
A positive Friday. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Hope you are having a lovely Friday. Big plans for the weekend. Maybe you're watching the opening ceremonies or you're recording them to watch them later. It's kind of unique because they're in different venues. Looks good. Oiler fans, Leon Draisaitl, of course, one of the flag bearers for Germany. Team Canada came in, dressed very well. Man, some of the countries, what I love when they're doing in the opening ceremonies is it says the country's name, the population, how many athletes, and then how many medals they had in the last Winter Olympics. And, like, look at Norway. Norway had 80 athletes this year, and it had pretty much the same last time. They had 37 medals. That's almost 50% of their athletes are medaling. That's pretty damn impressive. Really impressive. And, you look at countries like Pakistan, Nigeria, having one athlete in, which is great. You know what? You start to evolve. And, Nigeria, 236 million people in Nigeria. I know there's a lot of people. I don't know, just that number kind of just, as I'm watching the opening ceremonies, what kind of jumped out at me? That's what jumped out a little bit for Nigeria. I knew Pakistan had 250 plus mil, but Nigeria 236 million people. Crazy. That is a lot of people in one spot. The Olympics, of course, the games have already begun. And there is the norovirus is going around, which isn't good. Switzerland is not participating in the opening ceremonies because they've had one case of it. And you hope that this doesn't continue to spread around at all, which would think about it. You're an athlete. You've trained for 4 years to get to the Olympics. And then you get that virus. Like, that would be awful. So I hope they're able to contain it and it does not impact too many athletes, because that would be devastating. Absolutely devastating. So on the program today, we got lots to talk about. Stephen Ellis will join us. We're going to talk all things hockey at lots of different levels, from the Olympics to junior and much more. Lorianne Munzer will be by, of course, Olympic gold medalist. She'll be fired up about the Olympics. Wanye Gretz will be by. We'll talk some NFL talk with myself and Declan and Connor. Some of their favorite prop bets heading them to this weekend at Super Bowl. You can get in on the action at playalberta.ca. And there are some that are not just like there's obviously some crazy prop bets if you want to go to it, but some that are like, all right. I'm not a huge anthem guy. I don't get in on the anthem one. Don't really like it. We'll see. Stubby Clapp, one of the greatest names in baseball, he's got announced he's going into the Baseball Hall of Fame. He is going to join us today at 4 o'clock. Stubby! I love it. Craig Button will be by. We'll have Speck, Low Tide, Wanye Gretz, Cam Tate. So busy show. As always, your thoughts. Feel free to chime in on the text line, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. What I want to do on the show today is to tell us, because I know some of you are diehards in different sports. What are the sports you're watching and certain athletes you should say, hey, pay attention to them? For Canada or anybody, but specifically maybe for some Canadians, on who you're looking at watching and seeing what they could do at the upcoming Olympics. Obviously, there's a big contingent of Canadians and specifically Albertans that you can look for. So some of the Albertans that are competing, we got Abigail Strait in ski jump. Adam Runnels, of course, is in biathlon. Allison Mackey from Edmonton, she's in cross country skiing. Dylan Marino in freestyle skiing. Of course, women's hockey from Fort Saskatchewan. Emmerance Mashmeyer. We got Jeffrey Reed, a skier in alpine. Jocelyn Peterman from Red Deers in curling. Josh Morrissey, hockey, of course. Joseph Brusik in skeleton. We got Amy Fraser in freestyle skiing. Also, we have Anders Johnson, long track speed skating. Andrew Longino in freestyle skiing. Beatty Podolsky in luge. Bianca Ribby in bobsleigh. Ben Hebert, of course, is in curling. We have Melissa Lothals in curling. We got Rachel Holman from Beaumont in curling. Obviously, we have gentlemen. We had Mark Kennedy in curling. And then you got a lot of bobsleighers, Skylar Seaman, Johan Eskrick Parkinson. You throw in Pascal Parody in biathlon, Nicole Maurer in ski jumping, Felicity Jeremia in snowboarding, Taylor Austin in bobsleigh, Ted Jan Bloman in long track speed skating, won an Olympic medal the last time. So we got lots and lots of participants here. Should be fantastic. Very much looking forward to it. Cons, is there? I know a lot of people have favorite events for sure. Is there one that you are very much looking forward to seeing?
Yeah. I mean, the one I'm really intrigued by, Gregor, and it's a new sport, is the ski mountaineering sprint. I don't know if you've heard much about this one.
Tell me, what is it?
But it's basically 3 legs. In the first leg, you're climbing the hill with your skis on. Then you get to a checkpoint. You take the skis off. I think you're going to have to strap them on your shoulders. You're going up, essentially hiking up the hill. It gets a little steeper. And then you ski down. So to me, like, that's a new one. I think there's, with how close it's going to be, how fast these guys will, physically be able to do it. I think, putting your skis on and off all of a sudden becomes a little bit of a thing too, with how quick you can maneuver that. I think the new event there is going to be something that's kind of interesting to watch and will be obviously captivating. And then I like any race event where it's head to head. Time trials are fine, but when you put 3 or 4 live bodies on with you, whether it's skating or downhill skiing or snowboarding, I think that element is just crazy because, things happen. People hit each other, and all it takes is one competitor going down, and the whole heat can be blown. So those kind of things I'm really fired up for.
All right. So some athletes to watch for. We already got some, of course, short track speed skating sensation, Will Danjanu. He's maybe our best bet to win, but you never know because short track speed skating it's chaos, man, but it's good. Obviously, Team Holman in curling, they're going to be very good. You look at obviously the men's, women's, like the women's hockey team, I think is pretty much guaranteed a silver. It's just going to matter, can they beat the USA for the gold, right? I think that's what's ultimately it's going to come down to. The men in hockey, I think we would be surprised if they didn't medal, and at what level. Obviously, we want gold. I think they are definitely the favorite to win gold. So we'll have to see. But I like obviously curling. We're good at short track speed skating. A lot of the different skis, whether it's a ski cross or whether it's aerials. Not so much in downhill per se. All it takes though is one great race, and you never know. But there's so many different sports that I love looking to. So. Hey, guys, shout out to our nephew, Jasper Fleming, competing in biathlon, 20 years old, born and raised in Edmonton before relocating to Squamish 7 years ago. From Mark. I love it, Mark. Biathlon. Well, I remember they did a feature on biathlon. And so you got to ski super fast, right? Like, and anybody who's ever cross-country skied knows it is no joke. Like, that is a workout. But then, so you're huffing and puffing, you're going, and then you got to lay down and you got to completely slow down your heart rate so you can make the shots. It's such a unique event in that regard. Like, think about it. And I know you learn, like, there's lots of different breathing techniques that people learn. And obviously you train your body to go super, balls to the wall. And then you lay down, breathing, relax, bring your heart rate down. It's a skill in itself. Not to mention you got to shoot into a little small hole from distance. Like, you kidding me? So, but I remember because I can't remember if it was in 22 or 18. I can't remember which year, but I remember watching like a whole biathlon race and just kind of being enamored by it. I hadn't really ever spent that much time watching it. Also, we should give a shout out on a Positive Friday, Con Man, to Buck Martinez. For many people who have watched the Jays over the years, you know what? Buck was one of the voice that you heard a lot. And he officially announced his retirement earlier today. And I would hope that, he maybe has like one, sign off to start. I love the fact that Buck didn't do a year-long tour, right? Announced the retirement, man. It's great. And, he'll be honored. He was obviously being with the organization for longer than most, simply because as a play-by-play guy, you can last a little bit longer. But he was excellent in his role for a long, long time. So wish him all the best. Last night in the National Hockey League, Florida and Tampa Bay, like, that is must-watch TV. Like that, there's no better rivalry right now in the NHL than Florida and Tampa Bay, because they're two good teams. They've each been to the Stanley Cup 3 consecutive years in the last 6 years. Tampa Bay went 3 years in a row, winning 2 and then losing 1. Florida won 2 in a row after losing the first one, and they don't like each other. Like, there is skill on both teams. and there is anger and animosity on both teams. There's always a few tilts. You've got Florida will agitate, but Tampa Bay doesn't stick. They're not scared. They stand up to it. Hagel got sick of Tkachuk last night after he blatant cheap shot on Kucherov, right? Tampa Bay gets off to a good start. And was it 2 or 3-0 after the first? I think it was, it was 2-0 after the first. And then at one point they're leading 5-0 in that game, and it's good night, Irene. But hey, the Panthers, they don't go away. They're going to try to get their pound of flesh, and I love it. I wish we had more rivalries like that, because right now there's Florida and Tampa, and any other rivalry right now is at least 5 rungs below. It's not even close, Connor Halley. We need other rivalry, like Edmonton, Calgary. Like what? You got Lomberg, not even saying directly Swiss cheese, but kind of jokingly about, that's the level. Like what? That wouldn't even register in Florida and Tampa Bay. Come on. When you see that and how those two, every game, Tampa Bay goes out and specifically acquires Douglas because they want to be bigger and tougher against Florida. Awesome. I love it. And it just shows you that the rest of the league is so far behind Florida and Tampa when it comes to a rivalry. They know how to do a rivalry. They got skill. It reminds me of the Oilers and the Flames, to be honest, because the Oilers and the Flames in the 80s, there was skill on both sides. They both won a cup. And there was legit animosity. They didn't like each other. Skill guys fought. Tough guys fought. Middle of the way players fought. Everybody fought. And everybody, took care of themselves. I love it. Look at Hagel and Tkachuk. That's some of the best players. They're fighting. And it's not the first time they fought. Bennett's fought. Right? Ekblad fights. Lots of top guys on both teams go at it. It's outstanding. And then they each got some tough guys. They'll fight. But man, when I see that, I'm kind of jealous that we don't have other rivalries similar to that in the NHL. Because I got guys saying, hey, Gregs, I can't stand Florida, but I watch the rivalry just to see if they'll go after Tkachuk. I loved what Hagel did, and I don't even cheer for Tampa Bay. Nick, see, exactly. Nick, you're bang on. That rivalry brings fans of other teams to watch. That's how good it is right now. Man, I was hoping someone would give Tkachuk a black eye before the Olympics from Brad. Well, Hagel gave him a run for his money. He landed better punches, and no doubt about that. So, but I love it, man. I love that rivalry.
You said best in the NHL, right? I don't think there's a better rivalry in North American sports.
It's probably valid right now.
I'm not going to speak for Europe because the football clubs over there, obviously, the rivalries run deep. But to two teams, when you're bringing up reinforcements for the battle, to me, it's unbelievable. You're right, though. Must-watch hockey. I wish the game was a little bit closer, but I don't mean seeing the Florida Panthers go down like that every once in a while.
Hey, the Florida Panthers, did Tampa Bay just take the hammer and slam the nail into the coffin last night? I think they did. So here's the latest standings in the Eastern Conference. Tampa Bay's now got a 6-point lead on Montreal and Toronto, and Montreal and Detroit, and they have games in hand. Carolina's 8 points up on the Penguins in their division. So the division leaders, pretty good spot. Now you get to the wild card. Buffalo has 70 points. Boston has 69. They each have 25 games left. The Blue Jackets are in the 9th spot, but they're only 4 back of the Islanders and the Bruins. Islanders in the division, Bruins for the wild card. And they have a game in hand. 2 on the Islanders, 1 on the Bruins. They're right in it. Then the Capitals also have 65 points, but they've played more games than the Islanders, so they're obviously not in as good of a spot, but they're still alive and kicking. Senators, 6 points back. Leafs, 6 points back. And Toronto, they have no tiebreakers. They're really 7 points back. Not ideal. The Flyers, also 8 points back. And they do have 2 games in hand, but they're reality has struck in Philadelphia. They're not making the playoffs. Then the Panthers, who have played 57 games. They have no games in hand on Boston. They're 8 back. 8 points behind, and they've got it past 6 teams. And so I quickly looked at when Buffalo went on their 10-game winning streak. Do you know how many teams in the 10-game winning streak that they gained 8 points on, Connor? 2. That's it. 2. So you've got Boston, Columbus, Washington, Ottawa, Toronto, Philadelphia, even the Islanders, because then you put them in the mix of teams you're chasing. That you'd have, I guess you don't have to pass the Islanders and the Bruins, so I'll take them out. So it's 6 teams, 8 points, 25 games. So even when you go on a 10-game winning streak, so they don't need a 10-game winning streak, but they probably have to win 20 out of 25. And even if they win 20 games, that would get them to 101 points. Probably going to be enough. But are they going to win 20 out of 25? They've won 29 out of 57 right now, basically half their games. And now you're going to go from winning half your games to winning 80% of your games. It's a massive, massive reach. And here's the crazy part about the Panthers. So their draft pick is top 10 protected to Chicago. But Barkov now, he was taking morning skates, Cons. He's got 3 weeks. He could be coming back here. And the Panthers, I get it. Their goal is going to want to be to make the playoffs. So he could come back and they could, and currently they're 11th, would be drafting 11th right now. So let's say they improve and they pass those 5 teams in front of them. But they might still end up picking 15th, 14th, 13th. But they'd have to give up the pick. So in a weird way, Barkov return, if he comes back sooner, might hurt the Panthers for a draft. It'll increase their chances to win, but I still don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think if Barkov comes back, suddenly they're reeling off 20 out of 25, right? Or even 18 out of 25. And that's probably what they have to do. They have to win 18 games. That would give them the 97 points. That's what I think they have to do to make the playoffs. And I just think it's too much. Too much. Hey, Gregor, Leafs Habs draws more viewers. Levi, that means nothing. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean the rivalry's better. Just means you have a bigger fan base. But no one's tuning in right now who's not a Montreal or Toronto fan to watch that rivalry. But lots of people tune in to watch Florida and Tampa right now. They just do. It's better. Take a quick break. We'll return. Stephen Ellis joins us here on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Ooh, girl, the way you touch that thermostat really turns me on. Like a heat exchanger, sensual phenomenon. Wanna play your favorite song where we turn the heat on like a legacy of love.
Legacy Heating and Cooling keeps your Valentine sizzling hot. You can afford to shower your Valentine with affection because Legacy offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. And that's how you build your legacy of love. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Diamond Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991. Or visit silentrides.ca.
Every lunchtime, hang with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. Low Tide and Declan Kruger gives you the deep dives, sharp analysis, and Edmonton sports talk done right. Your game, your station, Sports 1440.
It only comes once a year.
Aw, Valentine's Day.
What? No, from the top. It only comes once a year.
Oh, here we go. The Rock and Roll Super Party, only at On the Rocks.
Join host Ryan Jesperson on Sunday, February 8th.
At OTR for the biggest football party in Edmonton.
Your $30 ticket includes
all-you-can-eat buffet, commemorative t-shirts, prepaid Miller Lights, and entry to all prizes, including
$1,000 cash.
The Rock and Roll Super Party.
Only at On the Rocks.
Book your table today.
OnTheRocksYEG.com.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the Power Play 24/7 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. WEL.ca account today.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams. Whether it's retirement or your first home, the deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EUL. Get your power play amped up with EUL, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. EUL.ca is your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. Also, opening of the Olympics. I always recommend people to watch it, the opening ceremonies. It's fantastic. So I know many of you working today, you probably recorded it, but it's worth the watch from what we've seen so far. That's what I'll say. It's worth your time to want to watch it. Of course, they'll rerun it a little bit later on in the evening today. Of course, Canadian athletes representing very well, and now you got a lot of the there's good performances and stuff that I could never do, not overly creative and dancing. So I always kind of like that. It's a big deal. Like, you put in a lot of work and effort as an athlete. I love the fact that there are, like Leon Draisaitl hustled to get over there. He wanted to get involved. And I saw some other NHL players involved. Like, because you play hockey and you want to win, but it's all about the experience. And I think for all the athletes, if you're able to participate and engage in that, that's pretty great. Let's talk some hockey at all levels now as we go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's and Frank's Red Hot. Many of you like it. Guess what? Stop in right now and get the Frank's Red Hot menu on the select McDonald's, but only for a limited time at McDonald's. As we are joined now by Stephen Ellis from Daily Faceoff. Steve, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. The Olympics obviously are going to be are going to be exciting for all different levels, everything like that. Is there? I know, because you've watched a lot of these players on other teams. When you look at like Germany and Latvia and these others, which one of the rosters do you look and say, you know what, this is the team that you should watch out for that could surprise a few people?
I'm going to go with Switzerland. And I think that's partly because, this is a group that's won silver the last 2 years of the World Championship. And they're bringing back most of that same team that we've seen. And last year, Nico Hischier got hurt at the beginning, so we didn't get to see him when it really mattered. And Roman Josi was injured before the tournament. So you add those two guys. Yeah, everyone else can be adding their NHL stars, but you're still putting together a group that knows how to play together, that's already participated in a few tournaments this season alone. I assume their starting goalie will not be Akira Schmid, the only NHL goalie they have on the roster, but I believe it should be Leonardo Giannoni, who had like a .964 save percentage at the World Championship last year. He played 7 games. He had 4 shutouts, like unbelievable. And typically has played really well for Switzerland, like one of the best international goalies of the last decade. they've got some guys that used to be some NHL players. You can keep an eye out. Dennis Mulligan's typically pretty good internationally. Sven Andrigato, his line mate, they know how to play well together. So they're probably going to be the best on the power play. But that, anyways, like this is a group that I feel like looks really good. Germany's bringing their best team ever. Denmark's bringing their best team ever. France is bringing their best team ever. That's not saying much at all. And I just finished the Italian national team preview. Fun fact, their coach, Jalonen, was actually the coach of Finland when they won gold at the 22 Olympics. So
really,
that's kind of interesting to see him go from Finland to Italy. But, hey, good for him.
Money talks, maybe. You never know. Opportunity talks for sure. I'm thinking that's it. Is Canada's tournament to lose?
It feels like it. Like I know when the roster came out, people are saying, "Oh, Canada's probably not even going to medal." It's like people just big braining it. People taking like. I saw some people discussing like Travis Konechny, the reason why he didn't make Canada's roster. I don't think many people really thought he was, but they were saying like, "Oh, he's not as great defensively." It's like, yeah, but you don't need everybody to be a perfect 200-foot player on Team Canada. This is an Olympic team. This is an all-star team. Like someone will pick up the slack if someone can't do something in particular. But I look at this and. I know on Twitter you talked about the lines yesterday, and the one that I think would be really interesting is seeing Celebrini and Crosby play together again, because Crosby could probably play with anybody. We saw him turn like Dupuis and Kunitz into stars in Pittsburgh, but when we watched them at the World Championship, and I understand they're not playing the best on best competition, but having watched Sidney Crosby for close to 2 decades now at this point, or I guess more at this point, I don't think any line mate actually understood how to read Sidney Crosby the way that Celebrini did. And Crosby, you kept watching him talk to Celebrini, like talk about just how smart he was, how incredibly skilled and intelligent he was. And if you put those two guys together, like Celebrini was kind of compared to Crosby from a style perspective. So if you put those two guys together, I think that's a natural fit. I don't know if McKinnon and Crosby are going to necessarily be line mates. I know that it kind of makes sense. They're great friends and everything, but at the World Championship, they were split up. When they needed goals, they could have put those two guys together, and they didn't do that. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they manage that. But when you've got a guy like Seth Jarvis being your most recent addition, and he could play all 3 forward positions, he's been very good this year despite all the injuries. I swear he's been like my best fantasy hockey player. When you have a guy like that as the player you're calling up here, and there's still debate about like Hyman and Bedard and stuff, that just shows you the depth this team has. So really skilled group. I'm not worried about their goaltending. I know some people are, but this is the one where it's gold or bust for Team Canada.
Yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree with you on that one. Stephen Ellis joins us. Were you at all surprised about the replacements that were announced?
Not entirely. I think in general, like, again, this is you could probably knock off a good, like most players on this team. Maybe not McDavid, maybe not Crosby, maybe not McKinnon, McCarr, and you find a replacement that you'd still be pretty happy with. So I think with Canada, like you got to look at this and say, like, yeah, there's an argument for Scheifele, although with him, I think it's a situation where NHL teams draft centers because you always want centers, but Canada has too many to choose from. And the fact that he's kind of just only a center probably didn't help his case. And then you look at like Bedard, and he's been injured, hasn't been able to play 100% since his injury. That didn't help him. I think Hyman, you could have argued, yeah, put him with McDavid, but then the counter argument is put anyone with McDavid on this team and they're probably fine. So overall, I think I wouldn't be too worried about who isn't and who is there. I'd say if you're an Oilers fan, you're probably happy that Hyman gets a couple weeks of rest.
No, I think I've said that for Oilers fans all the time. I get why they wanted Hyman there, and even Mattias Ekholm for Team Sweden. It's a massive advantage for the Oilers that he gets 3 weeks off.
Like Zach Hyman is not the difference between gold and silver or gold and nothing. No, it's realistically not, but like, yeah, it would have been cool to see him there, and there's an argument for him to be there, but I don't think McDavid's going to have a lack of players to play with.
Yeah, no. Last night in the National Hockey League, the greatest rivalry in the NHL had another chapter. And you know what? Connor Halley had a good point. I think it might be the greatest rivalry in North American sports right now. Florida and Tampa Bay. Got 2 teams who have won 4 championships in the last 6 years. They've got lots of skill. You got lots of future Hall of Famers on both teams, and you got real animosity that comes to the forefront all the time. It's the best rivalry in the league, Steve, and it's not even close. Like, I'd put them at number 1, and then like the rest are like 10 and below. There's no one even close to that rivalry right now.
Yeah, like I'm from the Toronto area, and I remember growing up and watching, Montreal and Toronto. That was a rivalry you always looked forward to. Toronto, Boston, that's another one. Those have felt like they've kind of cooled off a little bit, and even like with the Battle of Alberta recently, didn't get the same blood that we got in the Battle of Florida. So really cool I love that. Curtis Douglas, Oakville, Ontario native, where I'm from, where Evan Bouchard's from, we got a little aggressive, got fined for it, but I think in general, like, you see the rise in goalie fights right now too. I know not a crazy amount, but like that's been a lot of fun. And then you see it feels like things are kind of ramping up right now. And you love to see that. And Tampa and Florida, every single one of those games are must watch. It didn't feel like that was the case for so long. Right now, though, like you mentioned, two of the best teams. They've been winning so many Stanley Cups the last couple of years. Florida, I think they got to feel a bit of the pressure right now with them being so far down in the standings. In Tampa Bay, you look at that team when they started the year, nothing was going right. Now they're one of the best teams in the NHL. So I think it's just like a game like that, Florida, like they got to treat every game like must win. So then when they go out there and it gets as aggressive as it did last night, it's fun. And I was kind of for a few years were teetering on the side of like, okay, most fights are kind of stupid in the NHL. At this point, I just embrace it. I love it, especially goalie fights. Let's have a goalie fight every single game. Like let's have this chaos. It makes it fun. I miss it. So it's fun to see that game last night.
Oh God, was it ever? And really though, when I look at that and I look at the standings and I look at how many teams are ahead of them, I think that's the final nail. I know that mathematically they still have a chance, but the Florida Panthers, 8 points back. You've got to pass 6 teams to get in. I don't see it happening.
Yeah. What I don't want to see specifically is I don't want to see them have to rush Barkov into the lineup if he's not 100% ready. And because that might be what saves their season. If it's not your season, it's not your season. Take the potential top 10 pick too. So I think in general, it's kind of something where time is running out, but we've also seen in the Eastern Conference, like in particular, nobody really wants to be in the playoffs this year. You look at Columbus, one of the hottest teams in the NHL, they're still not in a playoff spot. They're not in a wild card spot. You look at, Toronto, super hot, super cold. Who knows? Buffalo, for all their hot streaks they've had, they're only in a wild card spot. So I think it's still pretty wide open, but being 61 points, being so far out right now, yeah, it is going to be difficult for them, but it is the Florida Panthers. This is a team that could pull a trade out of their hat at the deadline that shocks everybody, and they make a huge push. So they were in a very similar spot that first year they made the Cup final, the first of 3. Maybe they make a late rush. I don't know. I think they need Bobrovsky to continue to be a hero. They just need to stay healthy. Like losing Lundell for a few games didn't help. Kachuk, they need him to get 100%. Going to the Olympics doesn't really give him an opportunity to kind of heal up and stuff like that. Maybe it would have been better for the Panthers if he wasn't there. Not better for the tournament in general, but I'm not writing them off. But they're going to need some hot runs because there's some other teams that are doing the exact same thing right now.
Oh, yeah. They need a really hot run. Like they got to win. They probably have to win, I would think, 18 of 25, maybe 19 of 25 to get in. If you look at the, the pace that the other guys are on. So that's just a lot to win that many out of, like, you look at Buffalo, they won 20 out of 24. And that was like an unbelievable run. And that just got them back in it. So Florida's got less time. And now they'd probably have to win 18, 19, or 20 out of 25. And with a lot of road games, I don't think it's very likely. So we'll see. What about, and I kind of, the Maple Leafs are only 2 points ahead of them. They're in very similar boat than Florida is right now. And, the Leafs still have way more road games than they have home games. And they've only won 11 of their 26 road games.
This is like the ultimate hot team, cold team, hot team, cold team. Like you saw them on this recent road trip looking really good, but then they had that homestand where they're absolutely awful. And I think it's just, they need this break. They need this break to reset. I know they kind of built a bit of momentum right before this break here, but they got to figure out what they're doing with the trade deadline. I know if you're living, it's going to be a difficult decision. Like Bobby McMahon, not a guy you would expect to be kind of the near a top of a trade board right now, but his speed, his shot, his ability to kind of play anywhere in a lineup has made him a very interesting trade target. That's a guy you want in Toronto if you're not doing a rebuild, which would not make a ton of sense. A retool makes a lot more sense given they got like no assets whatsoever in their prospect pool. But then you go out there and you just, I think from a prospect perspective, every single player should be on the trade market if it makes sense. Like Easton Cowan, Ben Danford, like there's nobody who should be safe. You got to think about the long term here still. I know that's, again, there's been some fans saying they got to just start fresh. go like that's not happening while Austin Matthews and William Nylander are there, and it's not happening when they got a pipeline as terrible as they have. But moving some of these assets, maybe a guy like Scott Lawton, a guy like Bob McMahon could bring you something that you need for the next couple of years. That Fraser Minten trade looks worse by the day. And you look at Brandon Carlo, who was basically playing third line minutes in Boston, thought maybe he would give a nice boost to Toronto, has not worked out, has looked like one of Toronto's worst players way too often this year. And then you see what Fraser Minten's doing, like exceeding offensive expectations. So that one, man, that looks bad, especially when in theory, Toronto could still get a top 10 pick this year, but they traded that pick away.
Yeah, no, very true. Is there a team in the NHL? Because I know you follow, and we've seen some young guys, and Pittsburgh. Like, I don't know anybody, I don't know anybody thought Ben Kindle was going to be an NHL player this year, right? Like, as much as Schaefer's been a surprise, Ben Kindle there's very few outside of the top 10 players who come in at legit 18-year-olds. And stay in the NHL, and especially on teams that are actually in the playoffs, right? Like I can remember Patrice Bergeron did it for Boston, didn't make playoffs. Ryan O'Reilly for Colorado didn't make playoffs. But you have Kindle coming in and playing a pretty significant role on a Pittsburgh team that's a playoff team as an 18-year-old who wasn't drafted in the top 5. It's pretty remarkable, really.
If you asked me in, beginning of September, or you told me in September that Ben Kindle wasn't making the Canadian World Junior team, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. A lot of good talent on the team. Makes sense. If you told me it's because he was still playing in the NHL and being like a very important player for the Penguins, nobody would have believed you at that point. I know the Penguins management staff didn't believe that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They've been telling me that he has shocked them as much as it shocks everybody else. But really good to see that a guy that put up a lot of points last year. I think the question was he going to be able to play at the pace and the intensity to be a middle six player and be an effective guy? And yeah, it feels like that hasn't been an issue. I've seen him play a couple times in person. He scored in every single one of those games. It feels like he's just playing with a ton of confidence right now, with nothing to lose. He didn't want to go back to the WHL, play for Calgary, a team that was not going to be very competitive. He wanted to stick with the best players in the world and learn from guys like Crosby and Malkin and Letang, and seeing him just do as well as he had this year. Not going to win a Calder, but the fact he stuck around this whole time and been good on the power play, looked really good on that third line. He's here to stay.
Stephen Ellis from Daily Faceoff joins us. This news coming down, and not a surprise once we started to see or hear more of the details, but the prosecutors have withdrawn the felony charge against Gavin McKenna. Now, he still has he's still facing a misdemeanor charge of assault and summary offenses for harassment and disorderly conduct. So we'll see how that plays out, but they've taken away the most serious one, right? So like this, I still think will probably end in some sort of small settlement, if anything. Do you think it has any impact at all on Gavin McKenna? And where do you come out on the 2026 draft class as far as who you'd have ranked 1 through 5 right now?
It's still hard to believe that we were talking about Gavin McKenna in a felony charge at this time. Like, what a weird week it was for hockey news. But yeah, I think with him, if from talking to scouts, some of them say it's actually probably helped this draft stock more than anything. And part of it is just kind of the last few weeks since coming back from the World Juniors. His production's been really good. His two-way game's been fantastic. And he's actually been extremely physical too. Like, he got kicked out of a game the day before he got into this assault here. So alleged assault, of course. But I think with him just going out there and showing a bit more backbone has been good. And, scouts said, okay, the fact that he reportedly was defending a family member in here actually means a lot to scouts. And they say this and say like, okay, like this guy is going to step up for people. Because there were points in the WHL last year and early in college where it felt like he was getting pushed around a lot. And between his play on the ice and things off the ice, they're impressed with his kind of higher level of tenacity. So I think talking to scouts, though, they still think Stenberg is number 1 at this point. I know it's kind of changed over the last few months, but I think just his ability to impact the game in more ways is probably going to put him ahead. But I would hate to be the team and the scouting department that decides to pass on Gavin McKenna because of his pure skill. So I like him there. Keaton Verhoff's probably number 3. He's the best defenseman in this draft. But that kind of holds, or that's kind of changing a little bit because Chase Reed's putting up a really good argument. Albert Smits, we're going to see him with Latvia at the Olympics. I know he's in that argument there. if a team's looking for a center, is it Tynan Lawrence out of Boston University, or is it Caleb Malhotra, Brantford Bulldogs, son of Manny Malhotra? So there's still some question marks who's going to fill that top 5, but feels like the 1 and 2, it's either going to be Stenberg at number 1 or it's going to be McKenna, and then the other goes 2. So strong at the top of the draft. I know some people are saying this is a below average draft. Incorrect, 100%. Maybe just an average draft, but at the top of the draft, you're still going to be happy if you're picking one of those players.
Because I know, Steve, you always have kind of realistic comparisons. Who would you compare Verhoff's game to?
Oh, I'd say maybe somewhere in a Pietrangelo Ekblad type kind of combination there. Like, he's got the size, but he's a good skater. He's smart offensively. He still needs some work on his top end speed, but if his skating has come a long way, I'd say in the last 16 to 18 months. Like, the first time I watched him play, he was not a great skater, but he has really figured it out. And that's the thing about him. He's actually one of the more adaptable players in this draft class. Like, you look at the fact he was playing goalie until he was like 12 or 13, and then he became a top defensive prospect within like 2 or 3 years of going to then got drafted to WHL and everything there. He's still so raw, which is why I'm really intrigued about him. Like, this guy's got so much runway right now. He's so impressive. So I'm a big Keaton Verhoff fan. I think he could be a number 1 defenseman on many teams. Some scouts are still not convinced, but just you watch him month to month, and it feels like his game continues to improve. And that's what you're looking for at this age. And I think few guys have come along so quickly in their development in the last 2 years as Keaton Verhoff.
Steve, give me your gold, silver, and bronze medalists for the men at the upcoming Olympics.
I'm going Canada for gold. I'm going USA for silver. I'm going Sweden for bronze. And my kind of underdog pick here is Czechia for gold also, just because that top line of Roman Cervenka, you might remember him for the Calgary Flames, and David Pastrnak, 2 of the best players in recent international hockey history. When you put them together, don't count them out. Don't count out Switzerland. You might want to count out Finland. I don't really feel too confident about them. And definitely count out Italy. I just finished their preview for them. They are terrible.
Yeah. What about on the women's side?
Gonna go with Canada for gold. Oh, no, sorry, USA for gold, Canada for silver, and Czechia for bronze. They put up a fight against the Americans, at least in the first half yesterday.
All right. Thanks, Steve. We appreciate it, buddy. Enjoy the Olympics.
Thanks so much. You too.
There you go. That is Steven. LS 244. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 furnace replacement company for lovers. Because the best aphrodisiac is no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace from Legacy. So forget about the oysters, baby. If you really want to check the heat, we can be a thermal couple, baby. Give me your sweet loving legacy. Heat things up with no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Make your game day feast better with Papa John's. Create a mouth-watering pizza lineup with buffalo chicken, all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, or create your own pizza possibilities. Now through Sunday, February 8th, get 25% off pizzas at regular menu price with the promo code Big Game at any location in Alberta. Order at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app with promo code BIGGAME. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play score and win every game. See more at ontherocks.yeg.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Eight. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Howling. Declan Kruger with you here at Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Opening ceremony. Do you don't even know who's speaking right now, Cons?
No.
Because she has been up there for like 10 minutes. Last I checked, she was up.
A name bar would be good.
Yeah. Like, why not have a name bar? Like, who's producing this? Come on, put a name on the screen so we know who's talking. So that's a little odd to me, but nonetheless, she's been up there for a long time. So yeah, obviously we're not hearing what she's saying, so I might have to go tune in afterwards. Obviously it's probably some big delegate, I get it, of the event. So just it's a long speech. Hopefully it's entertaining, provocative for sure. Our next guest was at the Olympics, won a gold medal at the Olympics, summer, not winter, but still the excitement, the euphoria, the nervousness, knows it very well. As the opening ceremonies today, we actually had some events already on Wednesday and Thursday, and now we'll get a full slate of action starting tomorrow. Can't wait for it. Should be a lot of fun as we go in the mind. Brought to you by Action Electrical. 53 years in business to become the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta. 4 divisions: project, service, testing, and solar and projects are doing design, build, switchgear replacements, new constructions, and renovations. That is actionelectrical.net. As Lori Ann Munzer joins us. Lori Ann, good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Happy Friday. How are you?
Good. Is that your, like, do you have any, do you still have your Team Canada stuff when you compete at the Olympics?
Absolutely. Some of it is in archives. There is some items that are in Canada Sports Hall of Fame in Calgary. Like, that's where my bike is. That is where my blown tire is. I had my laurel wreath there for a good period of time. And then there's other items that I bring out for literally show and tell when I'm in the schools, when I'm talking to students, when I'm talking to athletes, so that they can go, hey, this stuff is real. Yeah, it's a couple of years old, but it's in fantastic shape, and it just really puts everything into perspective for everybody who's in attendance.
So now I'm curious, when they take your bike, do they reimburse you for the bike?
It's, I think, me loaning it out to them, kind of ... until I guess I need to borrow it and bring it back. Maybe I'm going to go ride the new track here because it's officially open.
Because the bike's expensive.
Well, it was back then. It's even more expensive now because the technology has gone through the roof. They're even lighter. They're even faster. The gears, Jason. I was talking with Paul Angaro yesterday. He's, a veteran rider here in Edmonton. And he's been training. He's back on track, literally. And he was telling me the gear inches that the athletes are using now. It's like 20 inches even more than what I was riding when I was racing 20 years ago. And my mind is just not computing how big a gear inch. And just to give, listeners an idea, is one revolution of a turn of your wheel, it'll go a certain number of inches. So there's certain combinations with your big front chainring and the little, or not so little anymore, cog in the back and your direct drive. So that one revolution is really imperative. Like I used to race in a 90-inch gear, and that was really big. Well, the kids are training 115, 120 inches now. Well, that's more than 30 inches, or it's 30 inches now. Like my head just does not compute with this. And it's just, I'm thinking about, okay, what kind of load do you have to put your body through just to be able to power through this? But also thinking about the RPMs of turning it over. Like if you think about the speed skate or short track, they're on a really, really short track and they're doing multiple laps. So how many times are you crossing over would be the equivalent of the pedal strokes turning over and over with revolutions per minute. And it's just mind-boggling, just the technology, the actual facility is world class. And just to see the athletes put themselves together, with their equipment and then go out and do the performances, it's going to be, stay tuned, come out to watch. We have this amazing facility here at Edmonton, and it's just a matter of time before we start producing a number of really good athletes.
What about your medal? Do you bring your medal when you go speaking? So do you have it like in a safe or what?
I have it in a really cool spot. I can't tell you where that is, but it's in a good spot. It's something that I can access because, if it's Friday evening, I get a call, hey, can you come out on the weekend to talk to our athletes? It's like, I'd love to. But then it's like, well, if the bank is closed, if I keep it there, then it's like, Right. And I think as athletes, we keep it in a really good spot where we can access it, but where it's also safe too.
Yeah, well, it's basically like a spare key. So it's probably just under your mat at home that no one's going to
Don't tell them, Jason. Don't give it away.
That plant pot in a bag, under. Oh yeah, no one's ever going to put it there. Let's just put it there. So the now you get to the people get to walk through the opening ceremonies, and for a lot of athletes, I know some who are participating tomorrow, for instance, don't necessarily participate in the opening. A lot of it depends on when you're participating or not. Here in Italy, maybe it's a little bit different because they kind of have like 4 different venues for it because everybody's so spread out. You're there to. Was the opening ceremonies your chance to kind of exhale and a little bit of like, hey, I made it. Like all the hard work is worth this. And then once it's over, then you kind of switch into, okay, now I'm competing. How did you approach the opening ceremonies? Because there should be something about like, yeah, because you can never guarantee success, but all the hard work, you should at least have a moment to reflect and say, okay, it was worth it. I made it.
Absolutely. Well, I did 2 Olympics and I only have done 1 opening ceremonies, and that was the Sydney, my first one in 2000. My event was day 1 evening. So it was a toss-up of going, okay, I may only do 1 Olympics, so what am I going to do? I actually took Thorlosh socks so that, most cushioning. And I also took a little travel seat that would fold up and I could carry with me. So when we were just standing around, which is one of the worst things you can do as a cycling athlete and probably as a speed skater, is be on your feet. So I had my little portable chair and I'd sit down on this little stool thing, and I got to do both. I got to be in the moment, opening ceremonies, and it was incredible. Whenever I've seen posters or pictures of the opening ceremonies of Athens, I have this blank of going, why don't I remember that? Because I remember vividly the opening Sydney Olympics. And I thought, well, it's because I wasn't there. I was actually pre-training in Hyères, France to prepare to go to the Olympics, come in only with a couple of days to prepare, finalize, and then it was showtime. So for some athletes, it's that decision of go for the experience once in a lifetime. And if you can do it, go for it. If you can't do opening ceremonies, stay and do closing ceremonies, because I have heard, are just amazing, just as beautiful and incredible of an experience as the opening. Now, how your events are timed in that, if you have to stay a little bit longer, stay till the end of the games. Enjoy the experience, because that's something as an athlete, Jason, we're always thinking, what's next? What's next? It's the next training session. It's the next race. But we have to press pause, which we don't always do, and look around, like, where are you? Who are you around with? And just connecting with some of the athletes. This may actually be your last time that you're going to be seeing them, in a competition venue.
Lori-Ann Munzer joined us here, Sports 1440. The venue is always unique too, right? Like, so you mentioned you were doing training, and you don't really get access though to your like if you're short track speed skating, I think you get 1 day of skating on it, like but like the downhill ski, I think they get to go down it once or twice, but there's lots of times, like, it's not like you get to spend an abundant amount of time practicing on the at the venue that you're going to compete in.
No, it's very restricted. It's very limited, and you only have like a short amount of time on track. For cycling, we had a 2-hour window once a day, and it would be anywhere between 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and you would be finished at 6 o'clock at night. So if you were normally training at noon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon because of beautiful temperatures, and they put you at 8 o'clock, you have to make all of those adjustments. But this going in of, okay, what is a scheduled time? When it comes to outside events, especially in the wintertime, you also have Mother Nature to contend with, because, okay, is it raining? Is it snowing? Have we had a dump of snow? Is it mild temperatures? So you're always building those different elements into part of your training plan. If you have the perfect training scenario, what does that look like? If something goes south, what does that look like? If it continues to go south, and Mother Nature starts to affect, the bobsled run, the ski hill, what are you going to do? So you have to think of all of these different things way in advance before you actually get there, because those little elements, Jason, are what will literally knock an athlete right off their game. It's not just, I got to be ready, get the jitters out from the first event, but it's just, what are the elemental environment things that can cause you to get off track and just, lose your confidence, lose the belief, and just go, I have no idea what to do.
What's interesting, we see the norovirus, which is basically, a real bad flu bug, diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, stomach pain. And, the Finnish hockey team had it. Now the Switzerland team has been, they had a case of it. So now they've been quarantined. You're an athlete who trains 4 years for this, Lori-Ann. And like you get a flu bug, and sometimes you can lose 5 pounds, you feel bad, and then you got to try to regain it all to compete. Like, that could be the difference between being on the podium or being in the not even being in the top 20. Like, I got to think, like, the stress level for an athlete to stay healthy leading up to this is wild.
You could think about it as being stressful, but if you start to think about it being stressful, I believe whatever you think about, you bring about. So is that going to take away your healthiness and that? And look, I got the flu when I was in Sydney, Australia. I was flat out for 5 days, and my coach said, Lori-Ann, get out of like your accommodations, get on the track. You have to go train. And I don't know if it was just a really bad flu or what, but you know what? Sometimes it happens. We know as athletes going into this games that, yeah, there could be that. So what precautions are you taking? This isn't new, Jason. It's terrible when it does happen. I mean, it's your worst case scenario, but it's like, okay, if you're quarantined, then we have to adhere to those rules. The medical staff knows super well what they're doing. They're here to support all the athletes. And it's just, you have to do what you do. Mentally, it's everything that you've been training for. Sometimes it's going to be your last Olympics, and sometimes it's just unluck of the draw. But you've just got to do everything in your control. Number one, to be relaxed. Number two, to go, okay, how can I counter some of this stuff? And then sometimes you just got to look around and go, look, I've got to have some fun. Let's go play. Let's enjoy ourselves here.
Lori-Ann, enjoy the Olympics. What if you only got to watch one event, the Winter Olympics? What would it be?
Oh, Jason, this is like a terrible question. I'm going to go for short track speed skating.
Oh, I like it. What distance?
The short, I don't know. What is the distance? I don't know. I'm pulling the.
Yeah,
What's that?
500 meters. That's like the sprint one. Yeah. You can do 1,000, right? The similar meter is just
no. I'm talking about like when you're going around like the relay one, the little ones.
Oh yeah.
Short track.
Oh but short track still has a 500-meter individual race. It's just that many more laps. It's unbelievable. Yeah, the relay's crazy too because you're bringing in people all the time, and then you're trying to when to track. Because the thing about the relay that's unique is you get to choose when you switch your partner at times. So there's very strategic, right? That's what I like about it. I remember the first year watching, I was like, what the hell? It just looks like absolute chaos, but they obviously know what they're doing. So I like that one. I just love the sprints and short track because you know what? It's just it's almost like body contact skating. Like there is a lot of contact in that sport. And
it's like roller derby on skates.
Yeah, it's a good choice. Good choice. Yep. Ski cross for me. That's the one I love. It's ski cross, snowboard cross, fantastic. So, but I can't wait. I'm watching the opening ceremonies here a little bit out of the side eye and just seeing everything. I can't wait for it to start because I'll watch biathlon and I was intrigued by it because every high level athlete, there's just something you look and say, man, like that would be very hard to do. So.
It's crazy. Like if you think about the ski jumping, look at how high they are, look how far they go. Every sport has something super unique about them. And the one thing I'm going to share with all of our listeners here is watch the start, watch the first jump, the first lift, the first power play, just the first everything. And it will tell you a lot about how the athlete is actually going to perform. And it's just, stay tuned and let's cheer Canada on.
Awesome. We'll talk again next week once we have some results. Should be great. Appreciate your time.
You bet. Take care.
There you go. That's Lori and Munzer joining us in the mind. We'll take a quick break. We will return. Cons, who is that on screen right now?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Charlize Theron. It is Charlize Theron. Okay. Yes. Hello. Let's
What's
get
she doing there?
Yeah. Well, you always bring some big stars in there. Why not? Why not?
I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely not opposed to it. Are you kidding me? Get a pulse. Let's get to Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. When they say you're on the road together, they mean it. From tires, wheels, and oil changes to vehicle repairs. They do it all. One-stop shop. FountainTire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Over in Italy, Canada fell to the States in mixed doubles curling by a score of 7-5. They now are 3-1. Up next, 5-0 Great Britain. A felony assault charge for Penn State star and top 2026 NHL draft prospects Gavin McKenna is being withdrawn. He still faces 3 lesser charges, a misdemeanor for civil assault, and a pair of summary offenses for disorderly conduct and harassment for the January 31st incident. In the association tonight, you got the Heat and Celtics. Pistons host the Knicks, Pacers in Milwaukee, Grizz, Trailblazers, Kings host the Clippers, and the Pelicans in Minnesota. Toronto Blue Jays broadcaster Buck Martinez announcing his retirement today. He's been with the organization since 1981 as a player, manager, and broadcaster after being traded from the Brewers. The Edmonton Oilers extended fullback Jacob Pomona through the 2026 season. In the WHL, Oil Kings hosting Moose Jaw at Rogers Place. Puck drop 7. BCHL, you got Spruce Grove in Black Falls with the Crusaders host Vernon. 7 o'clock, both of those games. And in the AJ2 games, Camrose in Bonneville, Whitecourt hosting Drumheller. At the collegiate level, Golden Bears hockey will host number 2 UBC tonight and tomorrow down at the Drake. Pandas will take on UBC as well, but in Vancouver. And at the Saddle Center, you got Bears and Pandas basketball with Lethbridge in town. Griffins hockey for the men. They'll be on the road taking on Trinity Western, while the women will host Trinity at the DCA. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Wanye Gretz of Oilers Nation. We'll look ahead to the Super Bowl and hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Make your game day feast better with Papa John's. Create a mouth-watering pizza lineup with buffalo chicken, all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, or create your own pizza possibilities. Now through Sunday, February 8th, get 25% off pizzas at regular menu price with the promo code Big Game at any location in Alberta. Order at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app with promo code BIGGAME. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Ooh, girl, the way you touch that thermostat, it really turns me on. Like a heat exchanger, sensual phenomenon. Wanna play your favorite song when we turn the heat on like a legacy of love.
Legacy Heating and Cooling keeps your Valentine sizzling hot. You can afford to shower your Valentine with affection because Legacy offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. And that's how you build your legacy of love. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Are you looking for safe and professional transportation solutions for your group events and sports teams? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
It only comes once a year.
Aw, Valentine's Day.
What? No, from the top. It only comes once a year.
Oh, here we go. The Rock and Bowl Super Party, only at On the Rocks.
Join host Ryan Jesperson on Sunday, February 8th.
At OTR for the biggest football party in Edmonton.
Your $30 ticket includes
all-you-can-eat buffet, commemorative t-shirts, prepaid Miller Lights, and entry to all prizes, including
$1,000 cash.
the Rock and Bowl Super Party.
Only at On the Rocks.
Book your table today.
OnTheRocksYEG.com.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos. For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpot's Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
It's Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Little extra brass bonanza for you on a positive Friday. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger. It's a positive Friday when you get some food delivered in the studio. The McDelivery dropped off the new Frank's Red Hot, the McChicken with Frank's Red Hot. Good. Real good. Con man, the great part about it is because then you can almost just kind of like you have your fry with the Frank's Red Hot.
Yeah. I mean, they're not skimpy on the sauce, which I like. And for that part's I can like kind of dip your fries in it. And I can't really handle hot stuff, Gregor. I'm not going to lie to you. I've never bought Frank's Red Hot sauce because I don't think I can handle it. But it's kind of the perfect amount of spice. I think they put a mayo in there to kind of balance it out. It's very good.
Yeah, I don't honestly, I'm not a guy who can handle hot food really at all, but Frank's Red Hot I have no issue with at all. And this the Frank's Red Hot McChicken, I'd recommend it. I would very much recommend it. So you might want to check it out this weekend. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 is where you can text us. Here, also, we'll get to our... we got lots more emails to get to as well on the show today. It's always brought to you by playalberta.ca, where, hey, of course, you got the big game, Seahawks and the Patriots. Super Bowl 60 goes this Sunday, and the Seahawks are still the favorite. We'll see what happens. Drake May, can he finish off, I think would be considered a Cinderella championship a little bit. Even Seattle at the start of the year, neither one of these teams was considered a favorite by any stretch of the imagination, but they both won their way in, and we'll see now what happens. So you can go to playalberta.ca. There's tons of prop bets and everything else you want to check out. We even have a few under the Jason Gregor show. A few of the con man. We went with, of course, producer Brad's a huge Seahawk fan. And we went with the Rashid Shaheed, Jake Bobo, Trayvon Henderson props. So, yeah, you want to check that one out at playalberta.ca. So we welcome in Wanye Gretz to the show. I'm sure he's very disappointed that he can't hear what is going on right now at the opening ceremonies. A big pianist fan.
Well, I'll tell you, I was locked in earlier today. It's a heck of a ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
It's really a spectacle to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the last one, because of all the weirdness around it, I wasn't quite as locked in. Like, this feels like it's been 8 years since there was a normal Olympics type situation. To see all the athletes, to see Draisaitl come out, what a moment.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be cool for him for sure. Like, to carry the flag for your country is just has to be pretty cool, for certain. Especially, like Leon Draisaitl, and I wrote that article recently, and actually I got an amazing amount of feedback from Germans about it. Just there's a lot of pride in Germany. Like, you have a player in a sport that's not one of their main sports, and he's one of the best in the world, right? And I think it's like how a lot of Canadians got really fired up about Alphonso Davies becoming that dominant in soccer. Don't really have a lot of Canadians who dominate in that sport, and it's a big deal for a guy like Draisaitl. He said, "Hey, you know what, man? I'm just honored to even have my name mentioned into it." But when it was announced that he was the flag bearer, I'm sure when he comes back, we'll talk to him about it. So yeah, it's a big moment for them, and their hockey team's going to be competitive. I don't think anyone's expecting them to win gold or anything, but upsets happen all the time in a one game off, and so we'll see. And I think now we might have an Italian opera singer just based on how long she can hold her note as we watch it. That's always something that's been a marvel for me. Opera singers, like, that is a skill in itself.
It's interesting how they've got the two different cities going too, and they keep toggling back and forth. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I've never seen one that's been this, because they're about 5.5 hours apart, my understanding, up where the curling and all the sliders and everybody is up there, just up on the mountain. Like, I get it, right? Like, when Calgary had the opening ceremonies in Calgary, because you're just going to Lake Louise. It's not that far away, right? And everything, a lot of the other events were pretty much right there, right? You had the, of course, out in Canmore for the for some of the this cross country skiing and stuff, sure. But overall, and even then, that's not that far, right? 45, 50 minutes from the outskirts, so it's not bad at all. But 5-6 hours, I get it why you're not going to have it. Okay, let's have everybody here, and then you're going to have to drive 5 or 6 hours. You might be competing the next day, so it just didn't work. So it's unique and it's different, and it's fun.
Theoretically, I think too, you're able to put your infrastructure maybe in cities where they can be used for other things down the road, because you don't have to go and put all your arenas in like a mountainous area where you can do your skiing. So if you split it up, right? Theoretically, these arenas should last longer than some Olympics are just made for the games.
Like, look at Whistler, right? For Vancouver.
Yep.
Right. So, and I think it was Nikiska, not Lake Louise, in '88. So, Nikiska is even closer to Calgary, is it not? Or am I getting them mixed up?
Well, they were at COP as well. You're talking for like the long slaloms and stuff in '88.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nikiska.
Yeah, but Nikiska is closer to Calgary, am I not?
Kananaskis, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be closer than
it's closer. Yeah. So there you go. Even better. Either way, it was it was teenager back then. So I didn't I watched the Olympics. I remember Karen Percy, Karen Percy Lowe winning. So that was a big deal for sure. Eddie the Eagle. It's one of the other memories I have of that. Gaetan Boucher, if I'm not mistaken, was that 92? God, I gotta look, but he was a hell of a speed skater for Canada. That's kind of the first time I remember really kind of noticing speed skating. It was Gaetan Boucher. He was killing it.
It's crazy that Sidney Crosby's golden goal was 16 years ago. Like, what? This happened about 7 years ago by my calendar.
Yeah, that is a while. When you say it that way, that is quite wild. So Gaetan actually won gold at 84 Olympics, not even 88. So there you go. It won a silver in 80, and then he won 2 golds in 1984. So even earlier than I thought. So yeah, I was younger. But man, I remember him, and I'm pretty sure he won the Lou Marsh Award. Like that was phenomenal. And you look at, and I think like the speed skating, it might have even been outdoors in 84. Like 84 is not that long ago. That was the Oilers' first Stanley Cup. Like just, you look at like when they see times and everything, and everyone's like, oh yeah, it's cool. Well, yeah, the technology's advanced and science is advanced, and just conditions to participate for a lot of athletes today has made them much, much better.
Have you talked about that scandal with the ski jumping uniforms?
Oh my God.
That's a new one. They're pushing the boundaries of human limits.
Yeah. For those, I want to get the proper, so here we go. Let's discuss it. Gents, because this is, I assume it's more for, this is a wild thing. So reports, and this was from The Athletic. Reports have surfaced that before the Winter Olympics, ski jumpers are injecting their penises with hyaluronic acid to fly farther. Like at first, I was like, "Is this the Onion? Is this a joke?" No, it was legit. And you're just like, "What is going on?" Now, the claims were originally reported in a German newspaper back in back in late January, and but there's science behind the allegations, saying it would give ski jumpers bigger genitalia at the point that their suits are measured by 3D scanners,
and that allows them to travel further because they're looser.
Yeah, like
if you're at the Ski Jumping Federation,
here's the exact definition. Temporarily enhanced measurements would theoretically mean athletes were given a bigger, looser suit, and like a sail catching wind could allow them to make longer jumps. Research from the scientific journal Frontiers stated that a 2-centimeter change in a suit represented an extra 5.8 meters in length of a jump. 2 centimeters to 5.8 meters. But I'm just like, oh my God, like, I don't know. As a guy, like, there's just certain things I'm like, man. So first of all, you're injecting it right into the tip, like, ouch. Okay. And then it's like, what's the long-term ramifications here? Like, I've never even heard of, and it's acid, right? Like, not even trying, but come on. Like,
imagine being in the room and a guy bursts in and goes, I know what we can do to get another 5 meters, and has to explain that for the first time to all the ski jumpers.
Yeah. So, but do you know what it's originally used for? It's used for glowing and hydrating your skin. That's what hyaluronic, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Hyaluronic acid. That's originally what it's for. Right. And so they're saying, is it okay? Like I'm reading up right now. You can use it every day, both morning and night, as a gentle ingredient for all skin types, including sensitive skin, to provide hydration and plumpness. Evidently, plumpness into your manhood can help you get longer distance. But 2 centimeters? But still, 2 centimeters still, like that's a lot of extra growth.
It's almost worth it.
I don't know.
5 meters? That's a lot of lift.
But here's my question. Why has no one been using this? Why are you using Viagra? Why not just use this?
The long-term ramifications may not be in everyday use.
Who knows? But that's just kind of wild to me, man. That is like, are you telling me like if that was the case, like, couldn't you just like build a triangle in your suit that would make it more airborne? You know what I'm saying?
But this is why they 3D scan them.
So there's nothing in there.
Exactly. So they like it's this as like tightly fitting as possible to their body. And
Right.
apparently there's like a 3D scan that they print out into your uniform.
That
It seems precise.
That is wild, man.
We need stiff penalties if they get caught.
Okay, Gene. Okay. All right. But that's
Imagine the last guy to go, and they're like, every other person in your jump group has done this. Do you want to be 5 meters behind everyone from the jump?
but it just shows you that, you know, people will go to extreme lengths to try to gain an advantage sometimes. So, it is possible now, because here's the other one, Greg. How does it even work? Well, it's possible to achieve a temporary visual thickening of the penis by injecting paraffin or hyaluronic acid. Oh my goodness. So the director of WADA said, I'm not aware of the details of ski jump and how it can prove, but if anything was come to the surface, we would look at anything if it was actually doping related. So there you have it. Like that is wild, man. Wild. Now 18 months bans were handed out to 2 coaches of an equipment of Norway's ski jumping team after it found they had manipulated. See what we're talking about? They had manipulated the suits of the team's best jumpers in order to gain an advantage. So that's wild. The changes were amounted to cheating were filmed behind a curtain and uploaded anonymously to YouTube. They served to make the suits larger and more aerodynamic, thus enabling greater jumps in competition. So there you go. Always got to watch out what suit they're wearing.
Have you ever seen that documentary Icarus about the Olympic doping scandals?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Lengths they went to for Sochi? That was 12 years ago. The cheating's only gotten better.
Yeah. Hey, guys, I just had that hyaluronic acid injected into my hip for osteoarthritis. There you go. Can you travel farther, though, Neil? That's what I want to know now. Does your hip move a little bit more freely on the dance floor? What's happening?
How has it impacted your ski jumping?
Yeah. But that is a wild story, man. Absolutely wild. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back here on the Gregor Show presented by Play Alberta. Today we're going to get into some prop talk. Prop talk next.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Free trips, free iPads, a barbecue, a wood stove, the #1 dealer in the world. What? Who cares? How about no pressure, a great deal, finance rates as low as 0%, trade values you can be happy with, and an indoor showroom. And we're pretty good people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5. Plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
These days, it's all about who you know. And that's why it's the perfect time to save at the Bricks Friends and Family Sale. Upgrade your living room in time for the big game and score free delivery on TVs over 50 inches, like a Samsung 85-inch 4K Smart TV for just $999. And save up to $1,200 off sofas and sectionals. and mix and match and save up to $1,000 off 2 or more major appliances. Some exclusions apply. Check out the Brick in Edmonton South Common, West Edmonton Mall, North Side on 137th, and downtown near the Ice District.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. This is the time of year people make their New Year's resolutions. If they're lucky, they'll keep that up till February. So I propose another resolution. This year, resolve to be camp ready. Now, what do I mean by that? At No Bull RV, camp ready means never wondering if your RV will be ready for May long weekend. You know it'll be ready because you made the decision back in the winter. You know now.
Is Camp Ready something I can get from No Bull RV?
That's right, Bob. Camp Ready is our 12-month RV maintenance plan. It includes winterization in the fall, startup in the spring, roof assessments every year, and all your scheduled maintenance. So when you want to get to the great outdoors, you already know you're Camp Ready.
How do I get to be Camp Ready, Rick?
We're starting small, Bob. Just 29 Camp Ready plans are still available at No Bull right now.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Horses this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
.28, welcome back. Jason Gregor. Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley with you. Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Time for our NFL report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter at legacyheating.ca. And for this one today, of course, on Sunday, there's you can pretty much find almost anything you want when it comes to different props at playalberta.ca. So Connor and Declan, the two big football guys, decided that they were going to look for ones like, I was looking at a few things, and Hunter Henry for New England. He led them in red zone targets this year with 33, which was also 5th in the entire NFL red zone targets. So if there was a guy that I'm thinking anytime touchdown, that would be the guy. Cons, what did you uncover on some fun ones for special bets to look at?
Yeah, playalberta.ca has some really fun ones I was looking into. If you have listened to the station at all, you know I've been high on Shaheed this whole week.
You're all on Rashid.
I think, his overs can hit on one play because he's just such a big time player. And in a big time game, those guys make plays, and you got to keep that Patriots secondary honest. So I like the thought of taking those shots deep downfield. Jackson Smith-Njigba is going to be having all sorts of coverage on him. Cooper Kupp, I think, will draw some as well. A guy who can still make those great reads, and any kind of option routes, he's going to find the soft spot. I think that leaves an opening for Shaheed over the top. So there's a couple ones I do like. You got to bet here over 50 yards receiving or 20 yards rushing. Like, I would love to see him get involved in an end around, a thing like that as well. But to have over 50 yards, to me, I think that's one that could hit very well. They also have his speed over 19.5 miles per hour. He returns kicks. If he gets the ball on a screen, a little swing, something like that, this guy can pick up speed fast. I think his quickest speed this year was over 21. So that's another one I kind of like. And I will say, Gregor, I am a sucker for the prop bets. Like, me and my friends back in the day used to do a list of those prop bets and then just see who could get the most. And back then, we're in our mid-20s. We were probably handing out shots of Sambuca as punishments. But when it comes to Gatorade, I've always been a blue guy. We've also got the anthem length. That one, I kind of looked at a little research. I think last year went over it. A bunch of us hit on that one. And, the commercials, the who will the MVP thank first, those types of ones, I think are the fun ones to get in on.
Like there's stuff like, which team do you think is going to be first to visit the opposition in the red zone.
I mean, and then who wins the coin toss?
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, and if they win, do they defer?
I think that the Seahawks are more likely to slow down the Patriots early. Like we've seen Drake May in all these games. He hasn't really got off to red hot starts. He's made big plays when it's been needed and when it's been able to push his team over the top, but not early on in games. So I kind of like the Seahawks for that one. Either way, even if they have to get a stop on the Patriots first, I like their odds there.
Like you can do anything, like something as simple as the distance of the first touchdown. Is it over or under 8.5 yards?
I go under. I'd love to see over, but PI in the end zone, ball on the one, Kenneth Walker punches it in, right?
Yeah.
That stuff kind of happens.
No, it's true, right? Punt return, a big rush. It is like, it's funny to look at, like, I don't know, you'd have to go dig deep into all that. Like, hey, so the first touchdown of the previous 59 championships, what was the yardage on the first TD? Like, I didn't even thought of that. I was just, as I was scrolling through some of the ones that I looked at. Now, Declan, what tickled your fancy on some fun ones to look at?
Yeah, I got the buy your girlfriend nice for Valentine's Day bet right here, fellas. And I know you guys been married for a little while, maybe Valentine's Day a little stale. I'm gonna figure it out with this one. A punt to be downed inside the 5 is plus 3,300. I couldn't nuke that bet fast enough. Plus 3,300. And this is the thing, like the Super Bowl, unbelievable odds, right? The thing about the Gunners in the Super Bowl is, like, they're just as amped up as everybody else, but they don't really have a chance to show it as much. They have such select plays to get out there and make an impact. Those plays are those coffin corner punts where they got to hustle down there. They got to break contain. They got to touch the ball. They got to down it. I could plus 3,300. All you have to do is touch the ball inside the 5-yard line. Like, you can't tell me.
But you can't. Can you field it? Like, can I just fair catch it, or does that not count?
Yeah, as I interpreted the bet, that counts as well. Now, it'd be a little like no one would really generally fair catch it inside the 5 because they'd take the risk on someone not getting down there, letting the ball going into the end zone. But anything inside the 5. The other one I was looking at that I was huge is, with all respect to Drake May, who he was my MVP this year, Jackson Smith-Njigba is going to be the best player on the field. And anytime you have the best player on the field at plus 600 odds for Super Bowl MVP, you have to look at that. And then, of course, the fun one, the one everyone's going for, Gatorade color. I took orange. Looks like the Seahawks use it throughout the season. That one comes back at plus 240. Orange Gatorade for the bath.
Another one that's fun, combined jersey number of all touchdown scorers, 123.5. So if Jackson Smith scores and Kenneth Walker, it's low. But if Hunter Henry, you're only 50 away. So, I mean, that's for Andre Stevenson.
123.
Yeah.
That bet's got a little call the hotline vibes, but I kind of like where it's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun one. The second to tight end scores, you're starting to panic because you're halfway there. But, if it is a running back, if it's Kenneth Walker, 9, I mean, you're laughing. JSN, Cooper Kupp's another low number. So there's a lot of low number guys there. I kind of like the under on that one.
See, the one that I like was Seahawks to win from behind, which means the Patriots just score an early field goal, and then you come back and win the game.
I was toying with Seahawks never trail.
Ooh.
I've even thought about Seahawks scoring in every quarter. We're down.
You guys all think the Seahawks are winning here?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm big on the Seahawks.
Respect to the Patriots season. I can't
disrespect.
I can't figure out a path for them to winning this Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's hard. I think Seattle would have to make a lot of mistakes, is the way I look at it. Like multiple turnovers in this game.
Sam Darnold would have to turn back into a pumpkin. And what we've seen from him this season, and especially in the NFC Championship game, he is not going to do that. And I think that's the Patriots' biggest path to success. And I don't see that happening.
We haven't seen a Sam Darnold game like that since November 16th against the Rams, I think. The 4 interception game.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, yeah, there's games where he hasn't put out ridiculous numbers, but they've won those games. One of his best games of the season statistically, throwing 4 touchdowns. They lost to the Bucs 38-35. So, like, it hasn't been on him for those games that they have lost. Even when they've been close, he's been putting up big numbers. It's just been the defense kind of letting them down. So I'm kind of with Declan here. I think Sam Darnold, unless something happens where, he plays one of the worst games of his life, sees ghosts again, which I think happened against the Patriots when he originally said that. I like their chances here.
Well, where do you guys come out on the kickers and the number of touchbacks off of kickoffs. We will see.
I thought about that one as well. I don't know where I feel on it. Like on kickoffs, especially, it's so designed now for the return to actually have room
to
and make
return.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't love it on that. The one I was toying with was how many punts are going to end in touchbacks, but I just couldn't. Like I like to visualize everything, and I couldn't see the scenarios based on defenses flipping field position, things like that, where either team is in a situation where they can realistically get a touchback consistently to where I'm going to bet the over.
Do you know the number?
I don't know off the top of my head.
For touchbacks on kickoffs, it's you could go over under 2.5.
I would smash the under.
I might go over
on kickoffs.
Well, I mean, what's paying off better?
Yeah,
that's going to entice me.
Over is
there.
definitely paying off more.
Well, when Rashid Shaheed takes the first one to the house deck, they're going to stop kicking to him. They're just going to put it through the back of the end zone.
What is his return yards?
It's got to be around like 24, 25.
Well, he could do that on one kickoff, though.
Yeah.
Most guys' kickoffs now are averaging 25 yards a kickoff. So I would assume his total yardage would be more than that. You think there'll be an onside kickoff, fellas? Attempt? I hate the way I have to say I can't stand the rule that you have to tell the other team you're doing it. Like that's the worst rule it's the worst rule change in sports is that you have to announce that you're going to onside kick attempt. Terrible decision.
I'm actually changing. I say it will happen because the Seahawks will be up by quite a bit. Patriots score and they need the ball back because they have to score so many points.
My thing was like the game will be so out of hand, and this is really turning into kind of an anti-Patriots rant. My thing was the game will be so out of hand, like what's the point? But I kind of like your train of thought that they'll be down 38-7 and be like, let's try and get the ball back here.
Doesn't really matter.
One more try.
How about the Bad Bunny bets? Have you guys thought about those?
No.
They're like, what's the first song? I don't know. I'm going to enjoy his halftime show, but I don't know. I know one song, Monaco. That's it.
What's the over-under on songs I know? 1.
Total songs number, 11.5.
He would sing 11.5 songs. Come on.
1 minute clips, though. They got to do a mashup.
Oh, okay.
Like
so
Rihanna smashed the over when she was doing it.
Right. Okay. So you're saying it's obviously not. It's just like, now what considers a song? Does it have to be a minimum 30 seconds?
I doubt
I don't know.
As long as you can identify it's the song. That could just be the bridge or something. The chorus.
I'd be curious about that.
Dr. Dre, think how many songs he went through in his set.
Oh, they crushed it. Which landmark will be shown first? Golden Gate Bridge or Alcatraz?
Golden Gate Bridge.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say Golden. It depends how they shoot it.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, it's heavily favored that.
Yeah. Like, why do you want to show Alcatraz? Sick place though. If you're ever in the Bay Area, go to the Alcatraz tour. It was phenomenal.
Did you get to sit in a cell?
Oh, dude, yeah. Like
Was it creepy?
Well, you go around and you actually have headphones. Well, we paid for the headphones. It was like $6. And you have the headphones on. So as you're doing the tour, you're hearing them and they're giving you the details of everyone. And this, of certain areas of the jail and who is here and what happened here and what happens in here. And man, like I remember the solitary confinement one. And you're just like, oh my God, how would you serve? Like I'm not claustrophobic. But I was sitting, and you can sit in there, right? Like, obviously, the door's open now, but you sit in there, and you're just like, oh, my God, this would be awful. 23 hours a day on months. Like, how could you do it? How'd you not go crazy? So it was wild. And then just seeing everything about it, and then you read the history of the escape and everything that happened there, and that is one of the greatest unsolved mysteries.
If those guys made it, what do you think?
Oh, I think they made it.
Woo.
Yeah. Based on everything, I think they made it.
I heard the two brothers that got away sent flowers to a funeral of one of their loved ones. So
it was their mom.
It was their mom, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Although, if you're the family, would you just do that anyway, just to
keep
legend
alive,
keep them on the memory alive? Why not?
How about the guy who did he sleep in, or he couldn't get out of his cell in time? Sucks to be him.
Well, no, there was one guy who they thought kind of just backed out the last.
Oh, it was back. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Decided not to do it. So who knows if that was the right or wrong decision? You'll never know. But the fact that they never found them, it's just, I don't know. Could you stay? The difference was like nowadays, people, I think it's hard to grasp that someone could go just unseen and never pop up anywhere.
Couldn't get through an airport.
Back then, much different. Yeah, but if you're an escape person, are you going to the airport? I don't think so.
Well, not now, but
Yeah.
back then I might grow a mustache and get a fake passport. I bet I could. I think I could escape at 19. When did they do it?
Oh God, I don't even know what year. 1960 something. Escape from Alcatraz. What year was that? Oh, God,
62.
Okay, I was right.
No problem.
Yeah.
Throwing a wig and I'm walking right
Listen
out of
to
there.
you, man. No problem. Oh my God. It is wild though, to think of something like that happen. So different time, man. Different time. 70, almost 70 years ago now. Crazy. So give me your one most confident thing you think is going to happen on Sunday, Connor Halley.
Seahawks money line would be the most simple, plain bet I would take. And then I'm feeling danger is like 9.5 point spread. Give me it. I'll take them to cover. I have confidence that they will get the job done here, and maybe not quite the beatdown that we saw last year, but 9.5 points, extended spread. I'll take them to cover.
All right. Deck.
Any receiver to get 100 yards minus 140.
Any receiver.
100 yards, not the best odds, minus 140.
You're wondering who is how many receivers have had 100 yards in the Super Bowl the last few years? I'd be curious about that one. Trying to think 100-yard games in the Super Bowl. Good one. Take a quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show. We got Cam Tate, Stubby Clapp, and more. It's presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantork.com.
Your game day feast better with Papa John's. Create a mouth-watering pizza lineup with buffalo chicken, all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, or create your own pizza possibilities. Now through Sunday, February 8th, get 25% off pizzas at regular menu price with the promo code BIGGAME at any location in Alberta. Order at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app with promo code BIGGAME. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
And that's another goal for Gregor.
You know what would be even better than winning gold?
Okay, I'll bite.
Winning a gold medal made of Wilhauk beef jerky.
Athletes do get hungry, and they could use a snack on the podium. I think I'll start a petition.
Really?
No. Now pass the Wilhauk and turn up the games.
For a truly Canadian snack to cheer on our truly Canadian athletes, you need Wilhauk beef jerky, made with Alberta pride right here in Leduc.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca. Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder. With over $2 million raised for local charities and his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedorak, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, We are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get 3 large specialty pizzas for only $54.99. Perfect for game night. Use promo code 3LG at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
He's on. Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. We got a lot of texts coming in. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, Alcatraz was creepy. Solitary confinement rooms almost made me sick to my stomach. I couldn't even imagine. Yeah, it was weird. Guys, I found it really eerie that Alcatraz, when you can be so locked up and secluded, but yet a vibrant city is so close. That would have driven the inmates a little bit batty. Oh, probably. Well, that amongst other things, I would think. So, see how it goes. Greg's, was that story you read about ski jumping true or a joke? Because it was funny. No, it wasn't a joke, man. I didn't. I couldn't come. I did not make up the alleged injecting penises with hyaluronic acid in order to fly a bit further. All right, because allegedly it increases the size, gives the ski jumpers bigger at the point of their suits that are measured by 3D scanners, and that enhanced measurement would theoretically mean they're giving a bigger, looser suit, and like a sail catching wind could allow them to make longer jumps. Researchers, hey, Bob, I need you to research something today. What? I need you to research if the suit enhancement and what's the benefit. Okay, so the researchers found out that a 2 centimeter change, so think about 2 centimeters, in a suit, basically if you got a little bit more bulge, represented an extra 5.8 meters in length of a jump. Like that is what, think about what, like just try to rationalize that for a second. 2 extra centimeters in the suit would allow for 5.8 meters in the length of a jump. That is wild. And you know what? They'll go to any lengths to try to win. Basically what we found out. To quote Connor Halley, if caught, I hope they get a stiff penalty. I have a lot of jokes about this stuff. A lot of jokes.
If 2 centimeters gives you 5 meters, guys, 4 centimeters will give you 10 meters.
11.6, actually.
Isn't that like a bigger determinant than training? Like, wouldn't it at some point just be the people with the biggest bulge win? Aren't you really just ranking everybody?
That's how they get into the sport?
Yeah, are you a good ski jumper? Well, you know what? Drop your drawers, Bobby. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. I think we got a ski jumper over here. Oh. Well, if I'm a ski jumper, though, I am using that to hey, sending that out to people randomly. Hey, don't need any of that. And I won. Hello. Like, oh, God. Like, if you win ski jumping, you better have a fun celebration about that. Knowing that you're clean, right? Just want everyone to know I'm clean and I can fly.
Studs of Olympic Village.
Oh, God.
I'm a ski jumper.
We might have to rethink it, guys. Manliest sport of all from Camrose Chris. Touche. Let's get to the 2-minute warning. Like if Tate didn't write about this today, what was he thinking? That was like, this was an opportunity for Tater to really go wild on this one. Being right up his alley, I would think. Anyway, let's get to the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. We have Cam Tate, of course, longtime journalist in town. Cam, born with cerebral palsy. Cam's in a wheelchair. It's never let him slow it down. He's always wanted to be on radio. And now through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning. And on Fridays, Tater asks me to read his words. So, Cons, cue the music. Here we go. Tater's words. We need to warn Connor Halley because this is the 2-minute warning to cover his ears when he talks to Stubby Clapp in the 4:00 hour. I wish I would have. In 2005, I was assigned to be the beat reporter for the Edmonton Journal to cover the Edmonton Cracker Cats, the new independent baseball team in town after the Trappers left. On opening day, I wheeled into the clubhouse. I tried to be professional, friendly, courteous, but within 10 seconds of my arrival, a little ball of tape whizzed by my right ear. Startled, I began to look around. Then I heard other players laughing, pointing to a player hiding behind his locker. Then, very creepish, he moved his head out from hiding. Huge smile, bigger laugh. And that was how I met Stubby Clapp. Over the next 2 summers, over countless peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I learned about baseball. Laughed until my gut hurt and watched a man who loved working in his craft to get better. So, Connor, congratulate Stubby and get into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. And tell him my ear has never been the same. Well, there you have it. Stubby and Wheelie together in one room. That we'll see how good Stubby's memory is. I'm not probably pretty good talking about taters. Hard to forget. As much as we try, it's still hard to forget. So there you go. Tater sitting right here. If you're wondering why we chirp him sometimes, that's just how it goes. Yeah, Stubby Clapp. Good for him. The guy had a really good baseball career, no question, and represented Canada. Had some big moments as a Canadian in Canadian baseball folklore. So long time career, and a lot of people just remembered Stubby just because of his name.
One
like
of the great names in baseball.
For sure. Like most people are like, I don't really know, but I know who Stubby Clapp is. Like they know the name right away. Right? It's a classic name.
The first time I heard, I thought they were talking about a baseball player from like 1930. Like it sounds to me like a name of yesteryear in baseball. It's cool.
And he, I think, is he the first base coach still of the Cardinals, Cons?
Yeah, he is.
He is. Yeah, okay. So, man, he's been in baseball for a long time. Obviously, was a hockey player like lots of Canadians. Played some junior hockey as well. And then ended up going into to baseball for a long time. And now post-baseball career, of course, has been with the Cardinals. Man, been there for multiple years, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be fun to have Stubby on. It's a pretty big honor. You get into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Pretty big honor, for certain. Lots more texts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, hearing this story, it may offer an explanation as to why Eddie the Eagle was so popular. From the rig. Well, you know what's funny, Rig? If you look back when Eddie was flying, and actually see his documentary, I haven't watched it yet, but I just saw that it's on. I think it's on Netflix, and just talking about him and just what a wild character. Like to come, like no one was doing skiing back then. He's like, I'm going to represent my country, and we're going to go into ski jumping, and people are like, what? Like, what are you talking about? It's kind of like Cool Runnings in a way, right? When you think about it, like Jamaican bobsled team. Now, when you think about the skill set needed to be a good bobsledder, of course, the sprinting they had in spades, right? Like they're fast, but they had like no real understanding of how to go down at all. So, yeah, that Eddie, I got to watch that documentary. It looked pretty interesting to me. So, hey guys, I thought it'd be a deterrent if you were a ski jumper. No, Matt, it would not. You create a little bit more space in the suit, you fly farther. That's what the science shows. Don't question the science. Don't question the science. Quick break. When we return, we have Stubby Clapp. We got Craig Button and more. But first, let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca, meals.loca.ca. Dinner just got a whole lot easier and tasty. Check out meals.loca.ca. You can select the number of chef-crafted meals you'd like to eat and get them delivered right to your door every Sunday. Heat, eat, repeat. Meals.loca.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
Over in Italy, Canada fell into the States in the mixed doubles curling by a score of 7-5. They're now 3-1 in the event. Up next for Canada will be 5-0. Great Britain, a felony assault charge against Penn State star and top draft prospect Gavin McKenna is being withdrawn. McKenna still faces 3 lesser charges for the incident on January 31st. In the association tonight, Heat in Boston. Pistons host the Knicks. Pacers taking on the Bucks. Got the Pelicans and the Timberwolves, Trailblazers, Grizz, and the Clippers in Sacramento. Toronto Blue Jays broadcaster Buck Martinez announced his retirement. He'd been with the organization since 1981 as a player, manager, and broadcaster after being traded from the Milwaukee Brewers. For the Edmonton Elks, they've extended fullback Jacob Clement through the 2026 season. In the dub, Oil King hosting Moose Jaw. Puck drop 7 o'clock. In the BCHL, you got Spruce Grove and Blackfalds. Well, the Crusaders host Vernon. That'll get going at 7. And in the AJ2 games, Camrose in Bonneville, White Crow hosting Drum Howler. For the Golden Bears hockey team, they're hosting number 2 UBC tonight down at the Drake. Pandas in Vancouver taking on UBC as well. And at the Saville Center, you got Bears and Pandas basketball with Lethbridge in town. Griffin's men on the road taking on Trinity Western, while the women will host them down at the DCA. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by new Canadian Baseball Hall of Famer Stubby Clapp, Craig Button from the NHL on TSN, and we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical Team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalesuperleague.com.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Friday night calls for family fun that's second to none, starting with a big party.
And tonight at Rogers Place, it's the Oil Kings mascot Louie's birthday bash, presented by Bloom Benefits. Edmonton faces the Moose Jaw Warriors. Local mascots will be in the house for Louie's big day, and every fan in attendance gets a card for their chance to win a fun Louie prize. Plus, score Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less. The value is lion-sized. Oil Kings, Warriors, Louie's birthday bash, tonight at 7. Great family entertainment starts at just $20 a seat. Tickets and more at oilkings.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5 plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Positive Friday. How are you? Hope you're having a big weekend, getting set. You want to plan your viewing for the Olympics? Well, check it out. TSN, Sports NCTV. You can see where you're going to watch the games. Of course, CBC Gem as well, where you can catch out all of the action. Of course, officially getting going early tomorrow morning. For all of you hockey fans, Canada's first game will be at 8:40 next Thursday. 8:40 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10:40 Eastern. Any other time zones, you can figure it out. We don't have to live small. At this stage of your life, you should know what time zone you're in and what time that is compared to other time zones. So there you go. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Silent Ice Center. It's a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility just south of Edmonton and Nisku. 2 sheets of ice, a 600-seat arena, a restaurant with a viewing area, great for concerts, curling, hockey, and more. Check it out at the Silent Ice Center. Our next guest has had a distinguished career in baseball as a player, and now, of course, in Major League Baseball, currently working with the St. Louis Cardinals, and a huge honor as he was announced he is going into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Stubby Clapp joins us. Stubby, congratulations. How you doing, man? We'll see if we can get better connect. Stubby, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay, there. That sounds a lot better there. So awesome. But
any better?
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Well, congratulations, Stubby. Thanks so much for joining us. This is, for a baseball player, this is a pretty big honor, especially as a Canadian baseball player, I would assume.
It is an honor to get such a recognition, and I'm absolutely pleased, and my family's happy, and I'm excited for the rest of the inductees, all well deserved.
So let's go back to, a young Stubby Clapp. Obviously, you love playing hockey. You played baseball. How did one help you? Did hockey help you become a better baseball player in any fashion?
I absolutely. I think, what comes from hockey, number one, is the discipline with the workouts and stuff like that. I mean, last time I checked, hockey workouts aren't exactly how toughened you up. And it's a strength with it, skating and and all that stuff with the checking and having to be physical and stuff like that. That helps with baseball with the strength, and especially with my size, having to compete against those bigger guys. Being
Yeah, we'll try to get Stubby on a better line here to connect him. So because he won gold in the World Junior Baseball Championships, won a bronze at the Pan American Games for Canadians. Also, did play. He was drafted by the Cardinals and did get into to Major League Baseball. So he did play in the majors. Of course, Edmonton fans remember him when he played for the Cracker Cats. Did play a lot of minor ball for many, many years, and then his post-playing career had one of his jerseys. His jersey retired actually by the Memphis Redbirds. He was being a hitting coach. He's being a first base coach, being a manager. So what's interesting if you look at his career on the field, it kind of mirrors his career afterwards. He just worked his way up at different affiliations, and is somebody who clearly loves the game and was willing to, because baseball, man, like baseball's got like 975 rounds. I know it's not that many, but you know what I mean? Like it is, there's lots of low level ball, and you got to love it because it is hard and it's challenging to get through. And Stubby had the, and he got to the majors, man. And that is hard to do. And he's back with us. And Stubby, thanks for sorting that out. We go from a young age, and hockey obviously helped you. As a baseball player, like, I know it's always hard. You probably love both sports, but when did you reach a point where you felt like, you know what, I think baseball is better for me?
You know what? When baseball decided that it was going to pay for school for me, okay. I had some small offers for hockey, go play some Ivy Leagues and stuff like that. But there's just better opportunities for education for baseball, and so followed the baseball route, tried to get my education, and then next thing you know, we ended up getting the opportunity to go play pro ball.
And you went to Texas Tech University. So how many offers did you have to go the collegiate route?
One.
Okay.
One. I went to Paris Junior College. That was my one offer.
Okay.
And my dad put me on a bus in Detroit and sent me about 24 hours away. Called him in St. Louis at a stop. Told him I was okay, and then called him when I got to Texas.
Wow. So you go to Texas Tech, and you still hold a few records for the Red Raiders, triples in a season, runs in a game, different things like that you set. And so there you are, you're playing there, and then you get drafted by the Cardinals in the 36th round. And baseball, like, there's lots of rounds, there's lots of different levels of ball. But when you went to Texas Tech, like, did you have any thoughts that professional baseball was a legit thing for you at that point?
No, I had no idea. I was going to school, and someone was giving me a scholarship to play. My thoughts was, if someone's going to give me a scholarship, I'm going to be a doctor, and so that was my thought process at that time. And then, the funny story is they called me into the office right before the regional tournament, and it was Larry Hayes and Emo and Frank Anderson, the guy that just got the pitching coach job with Vitello with the Giants. He was our pitching coach at Tech, and they pulled me in. And they said, "Hey, if you get drafted, are you going to go?" And I was bewildered at what that question meant, because I didn't understand what the Major League Draft was. I didn't even know what it was. I was just playing baseball because I was getting a good education, and it was giving me an opportunity to continue, to play the game. And then after thinking about it for like a minute or so, I just looked at him. I said, "Sir," "I'm Canadian. I can't fight for your army." And they were just as bewildered with my answer as I was with their question. They're like, "No, we're not talking about getting drafted into the Army. We're talking about getting drafted into Major League Baseball."
"Sir, I can't fight for your army. I'm Canadian." Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
I had no clue. I had filled out a few things here and there from some teams, but I really didn't understand what the process was. And like I said, I was just playing because I was having fun. I loved the game. I loved, obviously being at Tech was a lot of fun. And then for me, I was playing to get my education.
And so you finish off, you get your education, then you turn pro, right? And I think you was AA Arkansas Travelers. Was that the first team, or did you play single A before that?
I actually played rookie ball in Johnson City.
Okay.
So when I first got drafted, they sent me to rookie ball, but I couldn't play for the first month because they had messed up my work visa, and so I couldn't play. All I could do was sit on the bench and watch, and I timed guys from home to first. Rather boring, but and then I would, before the games, during practice, pregame stuff, I would wear my poor manager's hands out with fungos because that was my game, So I'd try to take as many balls as possible to get tired, so I wasn't so antsy on the bench. And then finally, when I did get my opportunity, I got to play the second half of the thing by the time I got my work visa, and then from there I went to spring training the next year. Didn't make a club out of spring training, got stuck in extended. And then I got called up June 6, 1997, the day the Red Wings won the Stanley Cup.
Oh.
And I never looked back. I went to high A for that second half of the season, and then my first full season was in Arkansas with the Travelers.
Okay. The one thing when I've read stuff about you, Stubby, and I interviewed you many, many years ago when you were playing for the Cracker Cats, and perseverance is something that I think defines your career. As you mentioned, your first training camp, you don't even make it out of spring training. You don't make it on any team, but you never seem to get discouraged, or at least maybe if you did, you didn't let it stop you. Because in baseball, I think you got to be mentally tough because there's a lot of failures before guys ever reach it to the peak level.
Absolutely. And there were some low points. There were some low points for me. My dad, I was at the Academy de Baseball Canada in Montreal after my first year of high school. I went there first before I went over to Texas, and I hit a little low point there, and I thought I was going to quit. Thought I was going to come home and work in the automotive industry, and had a phone conversation with my dad. And the next morning, he showed up at my door in Montreal, and he said, "You're going to do what?" And I said, "Well, I was like, I don't think it's working out, and I think it's time for me maybe to fold it up and come home and get a real job." And he's like, "No," he goes, "you put too much into this." He goes, "You're going to finish this out." And I said, "I'm going to finish my season." I said, "I'm going to finish school out here and the season here." He goes, No. He goes, "You're going to finish. And then when you're done, you can make a decision after that." And I said, "Okay." I said, "That's fair." And lo and behold, that's when I got my first opportunity to play for the men's national team after that summer.
Well, you always, sometimes I think for athletes, you need someone who at times in your career believes in you more than you do at that moment. And it sounds like that was your dad for you.
Absolutely. My dad was my hero. Whenever anybody ever asked me, like when I was growing up, like, "Hey, who's your idol? Who's the guy you like to follow? Who do you emulate?" and all that stuff like that. It was, for me, everybody looked at me crazy because I said it's my dad. My dad was an unbelievable softball player. Growing up watching him play shortstop on a softball field and throwing balls across the infield, handcuffing first basemen was absolutely amazing to me. And I just wanted to be like him. And so that's kind of where I fell in love with the game, was following him around the softball fields.
Okay.
He played on that circuit throughout Canada and the U.S., and he was a lot of fun to watch. Him and his whole team, really.
Stubby Clapp joined us. He was announced he's going into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Of course, currently is the first base coach for the St. Louis Cardinals. And Stubby, your career, it started out, it was, you were never like, the sexy high pick, and you just kind of had to grind your way out. Your skills as a baseball player, and it's funny because in lots of places you became a fan favorite. When you look back on it, why do you think fans gravitated towards you so much in how you played?
I think they enjoy and they appreciate someone that played hard, for 27 outs, and that's what I did. I didn't take anything for granted. I wasn't given anything, and I didn't ask for anything, and I didn't want anybody to give me anything. I wanted to earn everything, and I knew that I knew what my limits were or my capabilities were, and then when someone would, kind of tell me like, "You're not good enough," well, then that's kind of when my attitude would kick in. I'd be like, "Okay, that's fine. That's what you think. Then watch me play." And so that's where it would come from. Like, I just had a lot of grit in me when I was young. My dad taught me about my size and told me that, that things were going to be difficult, but if I wanted to do it, it was there for the taking.
You kind of had your signature move where you do a backflip every time you entered the field when you were in Memphis, and Memphis fans loved you. Like I don't know if this is true because stuff you read, I'm doing the research beforehand. I'd read that in Memphis you were featured on a growth chart for kids. Is that true?
That is true, and it's in my wife's classroom.
No way.
She measures her third graders against me now.
That is like, honestly, at the time, like that's a pretty cool thing. Like every school, you have a growth chart for kids, and there's Stubby Clapp from the AAA Memphis Redbirds on it.
Yeah, it's funny. It's I was blessed with a lot of different things, and people were good to me, and they appreciated the way I played, and I appreciated the fans. Like Memphis was a second home to me, and it's been a lot of fun to play through there. We won a championship as a player there, and we won 2 championships as a manager there. We've had a lot of good teams there, and it was a lot of fun.
Stubby, your birth name was Richard. When did everybody start calling you Stubby?
When I came out of the womb.
Oh, okay. So right from the get-go, that was
Yeah. Richard was just mirror ink on a paper.
Okay. So that was like they just didn't want to call you Stubby on your birth certificate. So they just your dad and mom called you Stubby right from a young age.
Right from the get-go, and that's all I've ever gone by. And I've actually, a funny story from there is 4th grade. My teacher, Mrs. Gaunt, I don't know if she's still alive or not. I hope she is. She had called me Stubby all year, and we were doing oral reading one day, and it came down to my turn, and she said, Richard. And I didn't listen to her. I didn't pay attention. It didn't lock in that she was talking to me. And she goes, Richard, it's your turn to read. And I was thinking, okay, maybe she is talking to me. And then she's like, Richard, it's your turn to read. And I was just like, no, we're not doing this today. I got up and I folded my books up and I walked out of class and went home in 4th grade. And then my poor dad got the phone call that I had walked out of class, and he's like, what's the problem? I said, she was calling me Richard. That's not my name, Dad. My name's Stubby. And he goes, I'll take care of it.
So she never called you Richard again after that.
She never called me Richard again after that.
Okay. You battled it out in the minors. Walk me through your first, or who gave you the phone call that you were going up to the St. Louis Cardinals in 2001?
I got the word from my manager, Galen Pitts, Chief.
And so
it was on Father's Day.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So how was that?
It was on Father's.
Yeah. How was that phone call to your father later?
I couldn't get a hold of him. On Father's Day, I couldn't get a hold of him. And I'm calling. I'm like, where is my dad? I got the best Father's Day gift for him. And he was putting a tile flooring at my sister's house. And, eventually I got a hold of him or whatever. So it was quite special being able to give him that news.
And were your parents able to make it to your first game in the majors?
They were. My dad got there, and then I punched out my first AB against Todd Van Poppel, and then I got my second chance against Levon Hernandez, and I hit a double in the gap. Barry Bonds picked it up.
Wow. So Levon Hernandez first hit, Barry Bonds is the fielder at the time. So were you able, when you standing on second base after that double, Stubby, did you have time to kind of be like, man, all the work is, regardless of what happens ever again from here, I made it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When I got the news, I went back to my locker and cried. I went back there because it was such a wave of emotion that came over me, that all the work and the sacrifice and the nights of staying in at night instead of going out and partying, or the days of going to the gym a little bit extra, a little bit longer, or Lord knows, by a guy by the name of Nate Dishington, I played high A with. We'd have bad games, and we'd go get the cars, turn the lights on the cage, and we'd hit in the cage till 2 o'clock in the morning trying to figure it out. So yeah, all that sacrifice and all that dedication and all the work that went with it was gone in a moment, because it was all worth it.
And you spent that year, of course, with the Cardinals. You got into 23 games. You spent, then you went back to minor ball, and you played, I think it was like over 900 minor league games in baseball over that. You're a hitter. You also pitched. Tell me about I think you pitched for 2 1/3 or 3 innings.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty. That was pretty nasty. It was one of those games where the score was out of hand, so you go in and you're trying to throw strikes or whatever. I don't believe I have an ERA, to be honest with you.
No, you don't.
If I had, yeah. I think I got out of that mess with a 0 ERA.
Yeah, it says 2 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs. So that's hey, not bad for a good. That's pretty good middle reliever right there.
Pretty good right there. I don't even need a FIP, right?
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you about the game that really I think at the time was when you hit that game-winning bases-loaded single against the U.S. at the Pan American Games in Winnipeg in 1999. And that really seemed to kind of put you a little bit on the, at least for a lot of people who maybe weren't, regular baseball fans, kind of, hey, oh, there's Stubby Clapp. Because anytime it's Canada versus U.S. in any sport, Canadians get pretty fired up when you beat them.
Yeah, it's such a great rivalry, especially when you're playing in the minor leagues because you're playing with those guys, and then all of a sudden when the tournaments come up, you separate and you part your ways and go to your own country's team and stuff like that. So there's always a little bit of smack talk going on prior to the tournaments and stuff like that. So it's always fun. But yeah, in '99, that was such an awesome tournament. We had so much fun, and got to give props to Andy Stewart. I believe he had a grand slam to tie that game up. So without his grand slam, we wouldn't have had that opportunity.
Yeah, you also so the great part is there's been a Stubby Clapp bobblehead at the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. I think it's when you're in the Memphis Redbirds uniform. But now you'll actually go in. Who gave you the phone call that you're going into the Baseball Hall of Fame, the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame?
Scott Crawford did. Scott, he called me. It was actually January 30th, and it was my daughter's birthday. And I had just seen Scott at the Baseball Canada banquet, where we were there for the fundraiser for the organization. And so I had seen him, and I'd already given him some stuff. He had asked for some stuff just to renew the Hall of Fame stuff. And so when he called, I was kind of like, I was like, maybe he needs something else, or maybe he needs something extra, or maybe I forgot to sign something or whatever. And so when he called and he started to give me the news, and I realized what he was saying to me, I stopped him. And I was like, hold on a second. I was like, and I put the phone on speakerphone, and I wanted to share it with my wife. So I put the phone on speakerphone, and I asked him to repeat the part that he'd already said. And so I got to share it with her, and then my daughter got up, and now we get to share for her with her birthday.
Well, man, you've had some pretty big moments in your life. Come on, some pretty cool day. Father's Day, your daughter's birthday, that you're going into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Back, I think it was 2017 when you were Baseball America. You were the minor league manager of the year. You were the first Cardinals minor league manager to win that award. What did that award mean to you, and what do you feel made you successful as a manager?
You know what it means? It means I had a lot of good players. They made me look good. No, it was awesome. It was nice because I had put in a lot of work prior to that season and trying to figure some stuff out. Once I realized I was going to manage at that high level, I made some phone calls and talked to some friends, especially during spring training. I picked my old roommates' mind about managing, because we were still in the National League then, so you still had National League rules.
Yeah.
And at that time, I had only had 2 years of managing under my belt, and it was at rookie ball, and there was DHs there.
Okay.
So I hadn't done a double switch, since I had been in a double switch with the Cardinals, and so I've done a lot of work, trying to figure that stuff out and understanding the circumstances and how to utilize it all and stuff like that. So, it was a lot of research and trying to figure it out. And then at the end of the season, when you get to put together a season like that, those guys were awesome, and it was fun to get that award.
Being a first base coach in Major League Baseball, Stubby, I think for a lot of us, we look and, we see the guys conversing all the time, but what are some of maybe the more important things that go into being a first base coach that the average fan or media guy maybe isn't aware of?
Well, just number one, getting the guys to shift their mindset. That's the most important part, because everybody's so geared up on their hitting and everything like that. Like once the ball's in play and once they come back to the bases, trying to get them to shift their mindset into being a base runner and paying attention to signs, paying attention to the situation and the awareness. And that way they know what they're doing, know what they're looking for, and being able to anticipate whatever play might happen next.
What aspirations to be an MLB manager? All right, how would you, how did you approach that? Do you think that can you go from that being a first base coach? You have to go back to AAA to be a manager? How do you view it that way? If you want to be a manager, I don't even know if you want to or not, but if you did, is there certain paths that are better?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't think that there is a certain path. I think for me right now, the most important thing for me is to be the best first base coach that I can be. I mean, obviously, I still would love to climb the ladder. But right now, St. Louis needs me to be the first base coach. So that's kind of what I'm focused on. And then when after this season, depending on what happens, who knows what's going to happen? You never know what's going to happen. And maybe the next step is third base coach, or maybe the next step is a bench coach or something like that. And then getting into the manager's position, it could happen anywhere. I mean, we see guys now getting managing jobs that have never managed before, and it's all about the numbers and everything like that. So there's a lot of different things that go into managing, especially being able to understand your personnel and everything like that, and kind of cultivating a great culture to be able to win. So that's a huge part of it.
Well, Stubby, congratulations on a massive honor. Well deserved. I hope you and your family enjoy your day when you go into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, and continue success.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
You betcha. There's Stubby Clapp, of course, who's going into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Just found out literally a week ago, January 30th, on his daughter's birthday. So it's pretty special. Imagine that you're a young player. You've been playing in the minors now for 5 years, and they call you. You get a call on Father's Day, and your dad was like your hero. You'd be super excited for yourself. Stubby mentioned that he went in the back room and cried because you're just like, hey, man, I'm going to the majors. This is unreal. And then you want to call your dad and he's not answering the phone. Oh, it's a classic dad. But I could imagine, though, being any father out there, if you have a good relationship with your son, and, and especially when your son wanted to quit, and you said, no, let's work through this, right? Drives there, good dad. And, didn't berate him or anything, just support him. And a lot of times that's the best thing a dad can do, is because there's lots of people that will try to want to tear you down. I think a lot of times mom and dads, the biggest thing is just be supportive at the tough moments, for certain. So congrats to Stubby. Really good guy. Really good guy. Take a quick break. We'll return. Craig Button's next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
For a silly hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
These days, it's all about who you know. And that's why it's the perfect time to save. at the Bricks Friends and Family Sale. Upgrade your living room in time for the big game and score free delivery on TVs over 50 inches, like a Samsung 85-inch 4K smart TV for just $999. And save up to $1,200 off sofas and sectionals. And mix and match. Save up to $1,000 off 2 or more major appliances. Some exclusions apply. Check out the Brick in Edmonton South Common, West Edmonton Mall, North Side on 137, and downtown near the Ice District.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
4:30. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch, and more. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. It's always brought to you by playalberta.ca, where, of course, every day you have the Jason Gregor Show daily specials you can check out. Always mix in some lots of football ones related to the Seahawks and the Patriots game coming up. The 60th Super Bowl game coming up on Sunday. Let's check it out at playalberta.ca. Time now to go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. Take action on your savings. You've been thinking about getting solar for your home or commercial building? Well, now's the time. You can get grants, savings, and more. ActionElectrical.net, as we are joined by former NHL GM and Scout, ace analyst and scout now for TSN, Craig Button, joins us on a positive Friday. Butts, how you doing, my man?
I am really good, Jason. How are you doing on this positive Friday? Although every day is positive for you.
You know what? For the most part, yes. I'm doing pretty well. I've learned something new today, Craig. I'm a big believer. You always want to learn new things in life if you can. Things that, I always kind of feel like I'm up to date on what's going on in the sporting world. Clearly, I'm not up to date on ski jumping and the lengths that they will go to try to jump farther. So I know that I don't know if you've been following that story or not yet, Craig, but have you heard about the allegations of the ski jumpers?
Well, I just didn't know there was so much lift in a penis. I mean, just think about what, male sports. Just think about what the ramifications could be as science comes into that. Could you skate faster? Could you jump over defensemen? Could you jump higher? Could you throw the ball farther? I mean, there's no end to what the science could end up being.
Oh God, man. We were having a lot of fun with that earlier on. But when I realized that 2 centimeter growth they did a study that would lead to an increase of 5.8 meters in jump length. I can understand why they're considering doing it, even though it seems a little crazy. But hey, anything to win. And I know that, in hockey, people have done it. Hey, we saw Aaron Ekblad last year. So there's always somebody out there that will try to take a benefit if they can. Speaking of hockey and the NHL, and it's been a kind of a fast paced first. It's almost 3/4 of the season, not officially there yet. But you look at it, Craig, and I think there's quite a few surprises for sure. But I want to ask you about your two teams, Toronto and Florida. With them 6 and 8 points back and so many teams to jump, is the hole they've dug too deep?
Yes, I think it is. And, you have one team that just isn't good enough, and that's the Toronto Maple Leafs. And you have another team that's been decimated by injury, and that's the Florida Panthers. And just the fact that the Florida Panthers have kept their head above water, I think is pretty significant, considering everything they've gone through on the injury scenario this past season. But you can never anticipate injuries, but you can say that it's rational and a good explanation for why they are where they're at. Toronto Maple Leafs are just no good.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and guess what? They beat the Oilers. So the Oilers right now got some problems for sure.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, like Leon
Yes, they do.
Draisaitl came out. I don't think he called out anyone. I don't think he was just very honest and just said, "Hey, here's the facts. We got to be better. Our defense has to be better. Our goalie's got to make some saves. Our coaches got to be better. Management, everybody's got to be better, right? From top to bottom of this team." And like Edmonton had a stretch where it looked like they were really rolling. And then the last 6 games, they just went crashing back down to earth defensively. And then the last few games, just not good in a lot of facets. Like, I still think Edmonton's a good enough team to make the playoffs and get going in the Pacific Division. But just because you think they're one, they've got to actually do it.
So you look at the Pacific Division, and I think there's lots of for the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, the Vegas Golden Knights stumbled. All of a sudden, then they go into the Olympic break with some wins under their belt, playing better. But if they were in the Central Division, I'd say, oh boy, like now they're in a fight for a wild card spot. They'll finish in one of the top 3 spots. I do. I think that's the state of the Pacific Division time. Now, the good news is that gives you that opportunity. It gives you a chance to get your game in order and to find solutions for what ails you. What it also does is also help you focus in on do a serious contender. Because right now, I don't see the Edmonton Oilers as this contender.
Well, no.
Great hockey superheroes of all time. In Draisaitl and McDavid, yes, and we've seen them time and time again get them out of jams and win games for them, the two of them together. So if you want to be a contender, and when I say contender, a serious contender, you gotta get a lot of areas of your team in a stronger position, and that's not on the players, that's on management. And Jason, you heard me say this previously. Coaches, the first coach that I meet that doesn't play the players that he thinks will help him win will be the first guy. That'll be the first guy I've ever met. I mean, people talk about Trent Frederick. Trent Frederick started up on the top line at the beginning of the season. The top line. And I'll tell you how bad Trent Frederick was. Not only could he not do anything for himself, not only could he do nothing for the team, he dragged Connor McDavid right down to where there was all kinds of question marks on him. And he was given opportunity. Mangiapane was given opportunity. It's not like Chris Knobloch is looking at these guys and going, well, I don't like them, I'm not playing them. He's given them opportunity. And he continues to try to give them opportunity, and they continue to show that they don't deserve any more opportunity. This team, Jason, in Edmonton, is not as good or strong as the team that lost in 2024 in the Stanley Cup final. That's a fact.
Oh, God, yeah. I don't think they're as good as the team that lost last year right now. They got to have some guy. What's funny about the 24 team is, like, Connor Brown was terrible all regular season and figured it out. And the Oilers have to hope. Like, if I'm Trent Frederick, I know they go away. They have a holiday like everybody else here for the next week. But that week of practice, when they return, that should be like, okay, this is my opportunity. This is training camp. I wiped the slate. I got to come back, and he better, I don't care how many minutes he plays, because it's irrelevant to me. This whole excuse of, oh, they all need more minutes. Oh, really? Pittsburgh's rookie played his first NHL game, scored 2 goals in 10 minutes. Don't tell me you can't produce. Now, you're going to score 2 goals every 10 minutes? Of course not. But you can't score 2 goals in 56 games, no goals on home ice, no goals in 30 games, and tell me, wow, it's just because I'm not playing an extra minute a game. Like, give me a break. Like, Matthias Janmark's playing over 12 minutes a night, couldn't score in the ocean, for goodness sakes. So at some point, it does come on the players a little bit, but I will say this about the coach. I am done playing McDavid and Draisaitl together. It doesn't make the team better, and it's not helping the team. The numbers back it up. So if he wants to go to it, he has to have an assistant coach say no, because Draisaitl's numbers away from McDavid in double the amount of minutes are way better. So just play McDavid and Draisaitl separate. It forces the opposition to be uncomfortable for longer periods of time.
Yeah, like I agree with that assessment, but I think when your team, like, what do you do? Like, I'll just give an example. You're down 3-0 to the San Jose Sharks. You know you're not getting any real meaningful play, and so what do? Not play McDavid and Draisaitl together? That's what I mean about McDavid and Draisaitl, to me, have band-aided a lot of the issues that plague the Oilers. Not enough good players. Jason, I'll be really straight with you. I think they have 7 forwards and 4 defensemen. Goaltending's been garbage ever since they made the trade for the most part overall. So you're going to try to win. You're going to try to be successful with 7 forwards, 4 defensemen, and 4 goaltending. Good luck. And I think Chris Knoblauch's trying. He's trying to figure out how he can do it. I'll go back to 2024. You had a third-line center. You have no third-line center now. You watch 2 first-round draft picks, Broberg and Holloway, come into their own and show that they could be clear help. You had Warren Fogle. You had Cody Ceci on your bottom pair. All of a sudden, no, that wasn't good enough. And not only did you get weaker, you got smaller and lighter. That's not Chris Knoblauch's fault.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Yeah, I would. Well, they do have some guys who are bigger. They're just not playing very big, right? Like Trent Frederick. Hey, if you're not scoring, you could, like, when was the last time he initiated a scrum?
How about just you talk about making opponents uncomfortable?
Yes.
Like, be forceful, initiate. And again, like, I agree with you. Trent, go home, get reset, and come back with a real focus. To me, what's your calling card? Figure out what's on your calling card. It's Trent Frederick, hard player to play against, initiate contact, make it really uncomfortable for opponents. Full stop. I don't need any goals from him. The goals will come if he does those things. The goals will never come if he doesn't do those things. So and I think I've seen over the years, the Olympic break serves as a real refresher for a lot of players and a lot of teams. And I think that that's a real opportunity for him. But again, and listen, when you start to look at Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid and Hyman and Nuge and Podkolzin has played really, really well with Draisaitl, and Kapanen has found some legs, but he's found legs with Draisaitl.
Yeah,
so who put that together? That was Chris Knoblauch. I think that you know what really comes to the forefront here is the lack of purposeful play coming from deeper in the lineup for this team, and that is something that you got to look at, either your current players playing better or finding new players.
Well, yeah, and the latter's hard for sure. But hey, what about young Josh Szymanski? Very, very limited sample size, but I noticed him, Craig. He got on the score sheet. He didn't get scored on. Like, he played in 10 minutes, but he found ways to get noticed in his 10 minutes.
Bingo. And so Josh Szymanski has earned more time, right? So he's earned more ice time, and that's good. So again, he's a current player. You're right. It's hard, with the salary cap and where the Edmonton Oilers find themselves. So it is hard. And listen, I give Stan Bowman credit. He went and signed Szymanski as a free agent. He signed Tomashik. He's tried to find different ways to get players in there. You'll never hear me criticize a manager or a management team for signing players that come in at free, and like if they work, great. If they don't, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So but Szymanski has shown that he deserves more ice time, and if he keeps playing like that, he'll get it.
What'd you make of the Panarin trade?
I think it's exactly what the LA Kings needed. They need scoring. They need somebody. I think I think the dollar extension was really reasonable.
Yeah.
For Panarin, and to get him on a 2-year term, I mean, I think I would have been ready to go 3 or 4 just based on his productivity. But the 2-year term is really good. And I go back, Jason, to 2012. They traded for Jeff Carter. It was a real significant move for the LA Kings. Ultimately, they went on and won the Cup, which I don't see this LA Kings team as being capable of that. 2014, they traded for Gabrick. They identified where their shortcomings were, and they went and addressed it. I think that's exactly what they did in acquiring Panarin. Liam Greentree, 20 years old, good young player, can score. He's got some size. So for the New York Rangers going in a completely different direction than the LA Kings, I think it's something that can work out well for both teams.
Craig, lastly, Canada is the favorite, doesn't guarantee they'll win. Any concern about the fact that they're going with the exact same team, basically? Well, I guess obviously there's a few changes up front now that Point and guys are injured, but the exact same defense core And it's not like they dominated the USA. Like they won in overtime when Binnington had to make an unreal save. What do you make of Canada's options to go with all same 8 defenders?
Well, they didn't dominate versus Sweden either. So, I know they lost to the USA. They didn't dominate the USA, which I wouldn't, but they didn't dominate Sweden either. That was a tight game. So when we start to look at the competition and, okay, you go with the same 8 defensemen, okay, Doug Armstrong today made a comment about why Seth Jarvis was selected. And this comment, and I paraphrase a little bit, was, well, we're trying to keep the chemistry of the group together, and we think that he does that. I don't think there's anything more important than the chemistry of Connor McDavid, who is the most important player for Team Canada. It's not Nathan McKinnon. It's not Sidney Crosby. It's Connor McDavid. And who has better chemistry with Connor McDavid than Zach Hyman? I think it was a big miss. I think they had an opportunity, and I'm not suggesting that Connor can't go out and be a really good player and impact the game, but I want to give him every opportunity to do that. He did that by leaving Hyman off the team. As it relates to the blue line, like there's some real question marks back there. Some real question marks in my view. And, once teams can get into a third line and start to bear down on some of your weaker players, when I say weaker, I mean, we're talking international competition. Why don't we just say some areas that you think you can take advantage of? That now becomes an issue. And when you have goaltending question marks, that might become even a bigger issue. It's not like in 2014, Carey Price, if anything got through to Carey Price, he had it under control. But go look at that blue line. Good luck getting to Carey Price.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was funny. I remember it was almost boring. Canada was so good. They gave up nothing, right? Like it was uneventful. They were just like, oh, sorry, no chance here. Oh, like their defense score was unreal that year, but oh my goodness, they gave up nothing at Olympics.
But that's what I think it'll come down to, and I think it will. And I don't think there's any reason to not have Canada as the favorite. But when you get up against good teams and they have nothing to lose, and they can throw everything at you, and they're looking at where they can take advantage, it'll be interesting. It'll be a real challenge. I think for Canada, here's the good and potentially something that could work against them. They start against Czechia, and then they get right up against Switzerland. Switzerland plays a really hard, competitive game, team game. They're not as talented as Canada, but they're going to be a hard out. And the Czechs, like, they show up ready to play. They show up ready to play hard. They show up ready to win. And so all of a sudden, Canada loses their first game. Now they're playing on Tuesday into the quarterfinal on Wednesday. That's not a good situation. Canada doesn't have the same opportunity as the U.S., who are in a real weak pool. U.S. will finish first. Canada's got their work cut out for them right from game one.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Should be an awesome tournament. And hopefully we have I'd love to see Canada, U.S. in the final. I'm probably a little bit biased, but at this point, as long as Canada's in the final, I don't really care who they play. But something about beating the U.S. would just make it a little bit more special at this point.
Well, based on the 4 nations and how good the hockey was, and between those two countries specifically and how testy it was, I think a Canada-U.S. Gold medal match would be something that the entire hockey universe would welcome.
Yes. Great stuff, Craig. Have yourself an awesome weekend. We'll talk to you next Friday.
You too, Jason. Thanks.
There you go. That's Craig Button from TSN. We'll get to 5 questions, 5 questions, next on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Mr. Reuter gets a colonoscopy. All right, Mr. Reuter, just relax. We're almost finished.
Now, what am I looking at on the screen?
That's your large intestine.
Wow, the pipes of the human body. Incredible. This is just like when we use a camera for sewer inspection, except you probably don't find tree roots.
You'd be surprised what we find.
You know, once I found a bunch of Hot Wheels.
Hey, me too. For a plumber who values healthy pipes, call Mr. Reuter.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda, 59 years and counting as St. Albert and surrounding areas' premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Well, so Friday continues on. Gregor, Wanye, Hallie, Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. As always, presented by playalberta.ca. Get in the game. Remember, it is Friday night, and that means Lotto Max. Your chance, $30 million up for grabs. Playalberta.ca. Good luck. Good luck to you. Let's get to Sank Question, brought to you by The Brick, the friends and family sale. Your final day, final weekend to get in and get all the great savings. You can save up to $1,000 off 2 or more select major appliances. And go in-store only, though, and you can get 60% off clearance and scratch and dent appliances. Unbelievable deals. Best fridge you ever got. Unreal price. We're talking like a little scratch. Can't even see it. Half the time it's on the side of the fridge that no one ever sees anyway. So check it out at The Brick.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, as the Oilers enter their little break here, how many would you say so far would get an A grade on the season?
Well, I looked into this, Connor, and I'll just name off my A's, and you tell me if you agree. McDavid.
Sure.
Oh, you give him an A?
Yeah.
Okay. Leon.
Leading the league in points. Yeah.
Yeah. Bouchard.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Nuge, relative to his output.
I could give him a B+.
Okay. What about Hyman?
Yeah.
Podkolzin?
He's right over. Yeah, he's B+.
Okay. And Roslovic?
No, not an A.
He's got a lot of goals.
Yeah, it's been a while. He's had a great start.
All right.
Who would I give an A to? So I'm just based on their, obviously McDavid's leading the league in points. He's getting an A. Draisaitl, yeah. Well, based on it depends. Based on the bar he set over the years, yeah, his is pretty close. Bouchard, Hyman's close to a point a game player. I really like Podkolzin's game. I like Podkolzin's game because not only is he producing, he's got 25 points. He's over, he's a half a game point of game player, but he doesn't give up a ton. He's physical. He's engaged all the time. Those would be the only ones to me. The problem is that it drops down quite a bit to some others. Lots of C's, a few D's on the team this year. And so that would be, that's kind of where I'd come out on it.
Question number 2. How do you guys think the podium will look at the men's ice hockey tournament, and who will lose out in the bronze game?
Well, I think Canada's going to win. Not as confident as I was even at the Four Nations. So I would say Canada. There's got to be, like, everybody's picking the same, so I'm going to go different. I'm going to say, because Canada, if I think the U.S. wins their pool and Canada wins their pool, they probably can't meet in the semifinal. So, and U.S., I think, probably might win their pool and be the number 1 seed. So I'll say Canada, U.S., and Sweden beats Czechia in the bronze medal.
I'd go Canada, U.S., Finland. Just to be different.
And who does Finland beat
in the bronze?
I don't know.
Germany.
Germany? No, not Leon.
Well,
I'd never cheer against Leon.
Question number 3 for you guys. Blue Jays legendary broadcaster, of course, he played for and managed the team, Buck Martinez, announcing his retirement from the booth. So I'll ask you this. Who is your favorite baseball broadcaster of all time?
Aaron Bordado of the Edmonton Riverhawks is my favorite baseball broadcaster of all time, Connor.
That's a good question, man. I'm probably going to go, Buck. Yeah, I'd probably have to go Buck. It's probably who I watched the most. Although, you know what? Like, I really like Dan Shulman. I'm probably going to go Dan Shulman.
Good picks. Question number 4 for you. At the opening ceremonies earlier on today, is this something you would say is appointment television for you? Or are you making sure you watch it?
Obviously we had it on here, but I couldn't hear anything. But I really enjoy watching, just the different countries come in. I really like this year how they had size and medals and athletes and everything for each one. I like that. I would watch some of it, but I'll record it because then I can fast forward to the parts. It's kind of like an award show. I don't like every portion of it, but I like a lot of it.
I love watching the Olympics. Summer, not so much. Winter, way more.
And the opening ceremony?
I watched it. Like, I was there ready on CBC Gem. I thought it was okay. As opening ceremonies go, sometimes the summer ones have better fireworks and that type of thing.
It's true. I liked the walkouts. I think it's cool seeing how excited these athletes are getting to really get to experience that. The music before the ceremony, not quite it for me. Final question for you guys. So on this day in 2024, Dune 2 is released. Of course, the franchise got the reboot from the 1984 film. So in 2026, if you could redo a movie, which one would you do?
I would redo Starship Troopers because I really love that movie, but I would put the caveat in, you're not allowed to ruin it, because I feel way too many movies in 2026 are terrible, terrible reboots nobody asked for.
Cons, go ahead.
I think that is a good point there, because a lot of movies would get ruined. The Great Escape, the old war epic, and then The Warriors. And it's kind of been brought up, The Warriors. I don't know if you guys saw Mike Vrabel today. He had the patch on his Patriots sweater. Matt Collins keeps yelling Warriors come out and play. Has he seen the movie? Does he know what happens to the guy who says that? I don't really understand it, but The Warriors, a remake, would be good, and maybe Matt Collins can watch it.
Reboots are hard because if you love the original, it's almost like I'd want a reboot on a movie that I didn't really like, that I thought could be better. Because if you do a reboot of a movie you like, it's really hard that the reboot's going to impress you the same way the original did. So, because I look and say, man, would I want for this era to have a few Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Sure. But then the problem is it's not realistic today, because the kid's going to have his phone and everybody's going to track his phone so he knows where he is all the time. So that's not going to work. So what would be a reboot?
I'm so glad they didn't redo Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
No, they should.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. You know what? How about they did a reboot of Slapshot 2 because it sucks so bad and you could make it better? That's what I would do.
Good answer.
Yeah, because that was... No, would I have ever recommended a Slapshot 2? Of course not. But Slapshot 2 was so bad, like so bad. That dumb. Now, a Western I would like. I love Westerns. Not necessarily even a reboot. I would like another movie that had a story similar to Young Guns. I just like how it was. Like, I love a good Western, man. Like, even like 1923 and 1883. Did you see any of those cons on where? I don't even know if the original was on Netflix or Crave or wherever the hell it was on. But either way, I think people know what I'm talking about. Like, I just like that time period. It's a little bit simpler, a little bit different life. Not everyone's on their phone. It's not all the technology crap. It's just more storyline. So something like that, I think, would be great.
What's your favorite Western?
Ooh. Well, my favorite might be the original Young Guns. Love that movie. Yeah. Unforgiven's pretty good too. Very different though. But yeah, I might go with Young Guns. You're a Western guy?
It's not a genre they put a lot out in this day and age. What was the one with Val Kilmer? And he's like shot against the wall of the saloon.
Why am I forgetting the name of it? Oh my God.
That's a great movie.
With Russell?
Yeah.
Why am I forgetting? Tombstone?
Tombstone.
Yeah.
That's an unreal movie.
Yeah. Oh, but it's a great flick. So I'm like Magnificent Seven. It's fantastic. That's one of the, like, my dad got me into that one. That's a classic, right? The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Right? Those are all good. Actually, you know what? Now, this would go way back. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Shane. Oh, buddy. It's a classic. Mysterious rider. Kind of comes into town. It's good. Oh, I like it. So I haven't seen Hostiles. I've seen a lot of people talk about it. If anybody out there has seen Hostiles? That one came out about, like, I don't know, 8 years ago, something like that. I've yet to see it, but people talk about it pretty good. So was No Country for Old Men, would you consider that a Western? Cons?
Wikipedia calls it a neo-Western. I would say that because it's not like, I feel like Westerns have to be like back in the day, you know?
Yeah. What does neo mean? What's a neo-Western? I've never heard of that.
Neo means new.
New Western, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Great movie, though.
Body.
Unbelievable.
Really good movie. Tombstone, that was a good one. Tombstone was a good movie as well. So I think of some other, would I call it? Would Django? I'm trying to think of new ones.
Yeah.
Django?
Django Unchained, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So that'd be another one.
Great opening scene.
Oh, buddy. Like, what's his name? Not Jamie Foxx. God, the other guy with his accent. He's so funny in it. God, what's his name? Christopher Waltz. So good in that movie, man. Even like Leonardo's a pretty good actor. People don't like him, whatever. But yeah, we got a lot of people texting, "Hey, boys, Hostiles is unreal." All right. Well, you know what? I haven't watched a good way. I'm getting my son into it. Like, I was looking, he's not old enough yet. He's so close to watching Young Guns because I've got him into it. Got to watch E.T. Just like his dad cried at it. It was pretty sad. Like when E.T. was almost done. Like I'd forgotten the movie, but I was just like, "Oh, jeez." And but he's seen the 3 original Star Wars, right? Like those. So I'm kind of getting him into some of the movies because obviously, hey, you know what? Seen a lot of his growing up, and I like some of his. Obviously, as a dad going to it, but I remember my dad just kind of got me into some of his movies, and I like some. I didn't like the others, like The Fly. Oh my God, and The Thing. Like he loved like The Fly. I don't know how many. I bet you watched that movie 100 times. And I was just like, God, I don't think this movie's that good, but I indulge him every now and then. I'd watch half an hour with him here or there, but it's good. Hey guys, Hell on Wheels, great Western. Okay. All right. Is Dances with Wolves a Western?
For sure.
That one comes in from Bobby.
Like they're riding horses.
Well, yeah, but it's more about the army necessarily than but it is, yeah. You know what?
The epic time of the movie.
Yes. Cons with Dances with Wolves, what would it be considered?
3-hour movie. Haven't seen it. Too long.
No, but what did it deal with?
Epic revisionist Western.
Okay.
That one. You've had no time.
I can't believe you haven't watched Dances with Wolves. My God.
Far too long for me.
Dude.
You break that up into 3-hour-long movies and I'm in.
Oh, buddy, it's so good though. Like it has like there's so different stages of that movie. It's unbelievable. Have you even seen Braveheart?
I saw Braveheart, yeah.
Okay, well.
No, I did.
How long is Braveheart?
I did pause it in that one.
Well, you could pause it. Dude, trust me.
Is Dances with Wolves as action-packed as Braveheart?
Oh, there's lots of action in it.
Okay.
Lots of action.
Did you watch Killers of the Flower Moon then?
No.
The 3.5-hour Leonardo DiCaprio movie?
90 minutes, I think, is the perfect time for a movie. That's cinema right there. That's how it used to be. And then we got crazy. We just put in all these useless scenes. And
well, there are some useless scenes in certain movies. I would agree with that.
We got greedy.
We did.
Let's get to Spec is going to join us here. right after Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Fall in love with Buick. For the month of February, you can lease a 2026 Buick Envision, all-wheel drive, 0 down, $265 bi-weekly payments, and that includes GST. Shop now, northgategm.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
A felony assault charge against Penn State star and top 2026 draft prospect Gavin McKenna has been withdrawn. McKenna still faces 3 lesser charges for the incident on January 31st. In the association tonight, you got the Heat taking on the Celtics, Pistons host the Knicks, Pacers, Bucks, Timberwolves, Pelicans, the Grizz in Portland, and the Kings hosting the Clippers. Toronto Blue Jays broadcaster Buck Martinez announced his retirement today. Martinez had begun with the organization in 1981 as a player, manager, and broadcaster after being acquired from the Milwaukee Brewers. The Edmonton Elks have extended fullback Jacob Hamon through the 2026 season. In the WHL, Oil Kings host Moose Jaw down at Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7. In the BCHL, Spruce Grove in Blackfalds, while the Crusaders host Vernon. 7 o'clock starting for both of those. And in the AJ2 games tonight, Camrose in Bonneville and Whitecourt hosting Drumheller. You got the Golden Bears hosting number 2 UBC tonight down at the Drake tonight and tomorrow. While the Pandas in Vancouver taking on UBC at the Saville Center. Bears and Pandas basketball with Lethbridge in town. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Alan Mitchell, host of the Lowdown with Lowtide. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
There's a lot of great seasons in Alberta. Hockey season, harvest season, the winter season, and the even more winter season. But GS Construction is already preparing for our next great season because while the city slows down, we run ahead. Projects, people, and pipelines. Everything starts taking shape for another strong year underground. We're also getting ready for our next hiring season in March. We want new people who want to build something that lasts. For more on us and to apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hello. You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called you. Today, you can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. Heading there now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother have the same name. Okay, I'm calling him next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Friday night calls for family fun that's second to none, starting with a big party. And tonight at Rogers Place, it's the Oil Kings mascot Louie's birthday bash, presented by Bloom Benefits. Edmonton faces the Moose Jaw Warriors. Local mascots will be in the house for Louie's big day, and every fan in attendance gets a card for their chance to win a fun Louie prize. Plus, score Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less. The value is lion-sized. Oil Kings, Warriors, Louie's birthday bash, tonight at 7. Great family entertainment starts at just $20 a seat. Tickets and more at oilkings.ca.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
So Friday rolls along. The Jason Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. I remember, could be a real positive Friday for you. Lotto Max, $25 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Should be fantastic, I tell you. Fantastic. Whew, who wouldn't want to win that? Who'd be the first call? That'd always be the question. Your accountant. Never know. Never know.
I'd call Bartrove. Say, get the caviar ready.
Ugh.
Coming in a helicopter.
I don't like caviar.
Bartrove caviar.
No. Well, I've never tried it, so I can't comment on it.
Fresh off a lotto win. There's only one place in town to go.
Caviar, no thanks. No thanks. I had it once. Wasn't really my thing. Maybe I'm not posh enough. I don't know. Didn't really dig caviar.
Champagne and caviar, which are made out to be like what you should aspire
the most
to.
Overrated.
It really is.
Yes. It's the most overrated beverage out there.
I remember going to a bar once and getting a bottle of champagne and being like, I'm the man. And like 10 minutes later, I'm like, this is warm. I'm tired of carrying it around. I'm not the man.
Yeah. So awful. Let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. They do everything from getting running water, doing the underground work to ensure the freeway gets built. It's not where he starts, how he finishes. GS Construction, as Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Okay, wait a second. So Wanye goes to a bar and buys himself a bottle of champagne and walks around. What bar were you at? And what the hell were you thinking, man?
Well, we had it like to the table. You know what I mean? Like they brought it in a bucket. There was a sparkler. It was very exciting until it was actually time to drink the champagne. And you're like, this is going to take hours.
Yeah. You know what? I'm totally with you. Like I have never even had enough champagne to get a buzz, but I imagine if you drank that whole bottle, you'd feel some kind of bad the next day. Hey,
couldn't go well.
Oh no! Like I like champagne. You know, you have it a glass, a sip in here and there, but I'm just like no, never. No, it doesn't do it for me for the cost of what it is. I'm like, man, I get way better value for lots of other things.
Well, that's why I had to take it with me, Spec, because it was like half of my net worth. Like I had to carry the champagne everywhere. I didn't dare leave it behind, lest it be cleaned up.
What bar were you at?
We were in Vegas and we went to a show and there was like bottle service.
Cheap champagne then in a Vegas bar. For
awful. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cost more than my car.
$250 US for a crappy bottle of champagne.
So probably more than that, dude. I remember bottles of vodka were $300 at bottle service. I remember the first time. It's like the biggest scam going, but we did it. Idiots.
Yeah, bottle service is a total scam, right?
Oh, yeah.
They buy a $30 bottle of Absolute, sell it to you for $280.
Yeah, I will say though, bottle service at the Sasquatch in Banff, pristine. Pristine.
How come?
Oh, it's unreal because it's not that expensive, and you get your buddy. We did many years when we did our guys' golf trip. We used to go there, and then we just have a room. You had like big tubs of beer, and then you'd have like a few bottles. It was unbelievable there. It was awesome. So, and plus, the Sasquatch. You never been there. The only problem about the Sasquatch is that it's the steepest stairs of any bar in North America, and there's a lot of victims on those stairs. I can tell you that right now, including yours truly one year. Woo, man. Oh God! And they're narrow, they're steep, and they're literally 4-inch stairs. You're just like, how are people walking? I could imagine the catastrophes on some of those a few times. But the Sasquatch is an unbelievable place. We had so much fun over the years there. For any of the young pups, you want to have some fun, you go to the Sasquatch. Got a big, massive Sasquatch outside. You can't miss it. So
okay.
And actually, Spec, there's a guy who walks around in a Sasquatch like mascot thing. That guy, he's losing like I don't know how many pounds. That thing has got to be the hot. Like I remember being there in the summertime, and it's like plus 25. I'm like, this guy, that's got to be the worst gig going on the planet. Like they're just sweating bullets in that thing all night long. Oh,
I remember when I was working at the U of A, my buddy used to be inside the Gooba suit.
Yeah.
But they didn't have much money, like athletics was poor, so they could only wash that suit at Christmas and then after the next semester. So by about December 1st, that thing stunk so bad that when he would come up to a group of kids, he would literally repel them. It was like the stinkingest mascot in the history of mascots. So
yeah, well,
I guess they're quite expensive to dry clean a mascot suit, I'm told.
Yeah. So the dancing Sasquatch currently is undergoing renovations.
Oh, is it?
That's what they're saying here online now. So
probably a hole in the wall at the bottom of those stairs.
Well, potential. Oh God, for sure, 100%. Spec Olympics opening ceremony today. You saw a few NHLers, Pasternak, and then of course Nina Ryder, and of course Leon Draisaitl were all involved in it. The hockey has a few days to get going before. I think it's on the 11th is when the first game. Canada, of course, will be next Thursday at 8:40 Edmonton time. Who do you think is going to open game one on McDavid's wings?
Ooh, oh boy. Well, it won't. Who did he play with in Four Nations? He played with Point, and who was his left winger?
Well, they kind of rotated around a little bit, right?
Yeah, I moved like it wasn't a steady.
No, there's no steady. He had Stone for a while. He had Mitch Marner in a game. It was kind of like Brad Marchand played for a brief time. Like to me, Celebrini. Now I know
Celebrini for sure is his left wing. Right?
I would think so, but everybody talks about Celebrini and Crosby were so good together at the World Championships. I'm like, yes, but are you going to play
McKinnon play together?
Yeah, you're going to play McKinnon, Celebrini, and Crosby, three lefties. That would seem a little odd.
No. McKinnon and Crosby have to play together. That's just that Nova Scotia thing, man. They'll start together. The three of them will all be on the power play. McDavid gets Celebrini, and then he gets I don't think he gets Seth Jarvis. Do you get Stone? What about Stone on the right side?
Well, yeah, because to me the options are Stone, Marner, Jarvis, or Tom Wilson.
Well, I don't think it's going to be Tom Wilson. I think it's going to be Stone or Marner. I think Celebrini, McDavid, and Marner on the same line, though, they better all have the puck. And they would. They would have the puck most of the time. But I don't love the defensive conscious of that line. I think they would be just going for broke all the time. So, I don't know. Listen, so many good guys. There's no wrong decision. But if you're asking me to guess, I'm going to say Celebrini and
Stone. Okay. The Oilers, now that they get a week off, and next week we're going to talk all Olympics and all other stuff. So kind of the final one about the Oilers as we wrap up the week, Spec. They're all gone to, week holidays here and there, different places. And, I'm sure, they'll try not to think about it but when they come back, outside of the obvious, which kind of depth position players do you think are going to be the most impactful or need to be the most impactful in the final 24 games?
Well, if Henrique's coming back, he's got to figure out how to get some points. There's too many guys down there that aren't produced. Like if there's there's six bottom six guys. Frederick doesn't get any points. Janmark doesn't get any points. And Henrique hasn't got any points. In the last 35 games, he hasn't scored a goal or something. So that's half your bottom six. Is not just underproducing, but they're absolutely not producing a single thing. Somebody's got to kick one in once in a while. So I guess I'd say to you, the one guy down there that has been a little bit productive in his career, but even, recently, who didn't produce during the first half here or the first three quarters was Henry. I would say to you that he better come back and start playing. They need somebody to make something happen down there, Jake. There's just no players that are making anything happen offensively.
No, not at all. They definitely need some guys to chip in.
Somebody.
And not just offensively, I also think emotionally, physically.
Yeah, get more invested.
Yeah, no question about it.
Get more invested. Like Like whatever it is you do, when everybody in town here, we've all seen it. When Carlo smokes McDavid the other day against Toronto, and Frederic looks at it and just keeps skating.
Well, he went to the wrong guy. If you see the video, he actually he thought it was the other guy, and he went skated up to him
How
and
does
did
he
the
think
old.
it's the other guy? He was right there when that.
I know, but he did, because if you watch the video, he goes and he does the old glove thing to the. He thought it was McMahon. Funny enough, it's weird, but that just
Carlo is buddy.
Yeah,
lost.
Or that might show you, Spec, that his focus isn't where it should be. How about that?
Not paying attention when your captain and best guy gets nailed like that. Somebody does something about it right away. When you're Frederic, that is, you got 3 points. What else are you doing? So, it's just, to me, it's just an example, not to pick on him, but it's an example of a bottom six guy who isn't getting his particular area of his job done. His responsibilities on this team. One of them is when I'm on the ice and someone needs to get challenged, that's his job. And make no mistake, Frederic's making $4 million. He better at least do that. And he failed at that the other night against Toronto. So all those guys have to grab a piece of this thing and grab a piece of the rope here and start helping, because you can't win without a bottom six.
No, that's true. It can't win also if your top six continues to give up as many goals against either, right? I think that's an area of their game that they probably got to, like when you look at it, like Draisaitl and McDavid, when they play together, they're only outscoring the opposition by 1 goal. McDavid without Draisaitl is outscoring the opposition by 3 goals. Like normally he's way better in that regard. So, and we've seen him. Hey, they've made some defensive miscues as a top line. It's not just goaltending. I don't buy that it's just goaltending at all. There's obviously been some goaltending saves you'd like for sure, but there's been a lot of defensive miscues. Like the Calgary game was the perfect example. Jari made some big saves because there was breakaway after breakaway, and then he let in a few softies. But you just can't keep giving up that many high danger chances that the Oilers have doing. Way too much.
Something's going to go in. I think what the city has learned a little bit is, everyone laid so much blame at Skinner's feet, and now Jari walks in there and he looks exactly the same. And, you're starting to wonder, maybe, maybe it's not the goalie, right? So, I only didn't like one goal in that Calgary game that I thought was just a goal you got to have saved. And that's enough. You lost by 1. So sure, everything has to get better. This team's going to make the playoffs, but just making the playoffs, they're not Columbus here. Just making the playoffs isn't enough. You'd like to see a team that's playing like it has a shot to challenge in the playoffs. And the team we've been watching here for 80 games, they might make the playoffs, but they won't last long.
Well, they might last a few rounds because the Pacific isn't great. Like, I don't think Seattle or Anaheim are going to dominate them. LA, they definitely filled a big void with Panarin. And so, Spec, the manager, GM, of course, is helping out with Team USA. But, as he said, he goes, I got a lot of time. I can do other things while I'm over there. I'm very curious to see what moves he makes. Like, they have to make one move to get Henrique here for sure. We know that the 2 guys have already been sent down when they return. So it's just a matter of which other players. If Mangiapane goes on to waivers, do they trade him? But that's just to get Henrique on the roster. Then you got to make some other moves. So I'm kind of fascinated to see what Stan Bowman does in the 10 days once they return leading up to the trade deadline.
Yeah, there's not a lot of cap space to improve this team with, right? I mean, that's the biggest issue. The problems are pretty, ever present. We can see that they require a defenseman, and you sure would like, either a left winger that can score a goal or a third line center. But I don't see the cap space. He clearly can't trade Mangiapane because he's been trying for 2 months. So, does he have to attach a massive asset to this guy? Is that going to be worth it? Do you really want to do that? He may have to. So, it's a 2-part sequence here. You got to you trade for whoever you want. If you don't create the cap space, you can't make any moves. So, it's really coming home to roost that, what's Mangiapane and Frederic together? Frederic makes basically 3.8. And what's Mangiapane making?
3.6.
3.6. So that's 6. That's 7. Let's call it for fun, $7.5 million. That's $7.5 million that got basically wasted on July 1st here, because that $7.5 million is not helping you win a game and hasn't helped you win a game this season. That's really, really going to be hard to overcome here, man. this GM dug a hole that I don't know if he can dig out of at the trade deadline.
Fair. Spec, have a good weekend. Enjoy the Olympics. We will chat with you next week.
Hey, thanks, Jake.
There you go. It's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. We'll return. LT joins us on the Gregor Show, sent by PlayAlberta.ca.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
These days, it's all about who you know. And that's why it's the perfect time to save at the Bricks Friends and Family Sale. Upgrade your living room in time for the big game and score free delivery on TVs over 50 inches, like a Samsung 85-inch 4K Smart TV for just $9.99. And save up to $1,200 off sofas and sectionals. And mix and match and save up to $1,000 off 2 or more major appliances. Some exclusions apply. Check out the Brick in Edmonton South Common, West Edmonton Mall, North Side on 137th, and downtown near the Ice District.
Wondering what to get your sweetheart this Valentine's Day? How about the gift of from Metal Supermarkets? They sell it, cut it, and bend it fast. Nothing says love like a sheet of solid steel to last a lifetime, just like your affection. Or you could do the old box of chocolate thing. So predictable. Be better. Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular menu price order when you use promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:28. How are you on a positive Friday as you make your way home? Turn your lights on, boys and girls. Make sure your rear lights are on, not just your front lights. Makes everybody safer, less stressful on the roadways. Of course, no NHL for you, but hey, that's a good little break, good little reprieve. Maybe you'll watch the opening ceremonies at the 2026 Milan Olympics. Of course, you'll be watching it on tape delay. It happened earlier today. But if you haven't seen it, don't worry. This is not something that somebody's necessarily going to ruin for you. You get home, you can watch it. If you watched an opening ceremonies before, you kind of know a little bit of the routine. Countries come in, all that stuff. But this year, there's a unique little twist, something I'd never seen before. So I think you'll enjoy that. And then there's some really good performances. And I will say, Mr. Bocelli, that performance, I only got to hear part of it during the commercial break, but that to me, that in itself will be worth my time when it's worth watching later on. I think it'll be awesome stuff. Let's get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Cars, trucks, SUVs, you name it, they got it. Over 15,000 vehicles, free to choose from, over 71 different locations. Find one near you, goauto.ca. Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown, joins us. LT, did you watch the opening ceremonies yet?
I did. I watched, I've taped it, but I watched some of it. It was awesome. Leon looked like he had just wrestled the bear successfully before heading out and representing Germany. It looked fabulous. The Canadians looked so happy. It looked like they had gotten, like maybe they come from a party, which you'd expect from Canada. It was very nice. I think they did a splendid job, and it's the Olympics are such a great event, and it's off to a flying start.
They tricked me, LT, when they said, we can see the Canadian athletes coming and there's hockey players. I was glued to my TV, and I was just waiting to see a little McDavid head pop out there. But I don't think there was any Canadians NHL players there.
Maybe not. I mean, they have Canada, rocks the winters. So it based on the party atmosphere, I think it might have been the snowboarders or, maybe, those ice skaters can be, a little bit partying, but I thought the Canadians were having a better time than anybody, to be honest with you.
Is there anybody you're really excited to watch, with the exception of the hockey at these Olympics, that we should know about? Any storylines that LT can draw from the ether?
Well, I always love the curling. I love the speed skating, it is so fast, and when they wipe out, it's not good. But man, it is just pure adrenaline. So I'll watch that. Anything on ice, I love. I love the figure skating. The skiing is damn dangerous, but I'll watch that too. But I'm just pumped for it, and I get to hear the word repechage again, which is so good.
Is there repechage at the Winter Olympics?
Oh, sure.
Probably in skiing, maybe. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
long track skating, all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Al's favorite word of the day. Okay, that is nice. Do you what is your sport I don't watch a lot but love to watch at the Olympics?
Oh, just about anything. The thing about me in the Olympics, and as you know, I'm newly married, so my wife is going to find out this. If I have 11 seconds to view whatever sport's on TV, I become an expert. So it doesn't matter what it is. If it's, shooting a gun or jumping over a barrel, I can pretty much be an expert within 11 seconds. So I love watching it all so I can pontificate. That's sort of my gig for the Olympics.
Okay. So you'll watch anything is what you're saying. I like that.
Yeah, I just like and I like watching the Canadian version of it because nothing's on tape. Like they'll have rowboats at 2 a.m. in Canada. We don't care. We want the live one. It doesn't even matter if there's no Canadians in the event. They play the whole thing. I love it.
Al, what is your number one area Edmonton has to improve when play returns? Because we're going to talk Olympics and everything else all next week. So there's really nothing going to change in the Oiler land. So this will be our last real kind of major hits on the Oilers. So what would be your number one thing when they return?
Well, I just would like to have a third line that they can use. This year for the natural stat trick, the third and fourth line combined play 22 minutes a night. And the Oilers are over 50% when McDavid and Draisaitl or both of them are on the ice. So they're I'm not saying they're perfect that way, but they've got that part of the game figured out now. But the third line has to come along. Roslovic, Szymanski, and Savoy are doing well, but I think they'd like to upgrade there. And I like Lazar and Frederick on the fourth line. Maybe I'd like the third and fourth line to be better and a little bit bigger. And it's important that the third line center is somebody they can trust. I think it's Nuge, but I don't know who's going to play left wing with McDavid. Maybe that's the acquisition. I like Roslovic. but I think he might be more, center winger as opposed to the center. So I'd say third and fourth line are the area, but that doesn't mean you're going to trade for one. You might trade for a scoring left winger for McDavid and then move Nuge to the third line at center.
Oh, I'll be stunned if for practice when they were, well, I guess they won't have McDavid and Draisaitl there, but I think for that first game when they come back, if McDavid and Draisaitl are both in the lineup, I think Nugent Hopkins will be the third line center in Anaheim.
That's awesome. And you know what? I think they can. I think if that happens and they win the Stanley Cup, it'll be one of the things that is key, because they've got to do better in those 22 minutes when McDavid or Draisaitl are off the ice at 5-on-5. I know the penalty kill needs work. I know all of those things, but I think that's they've had such an insane schedule. I think that a little bit of practice will help there. They just need that third line to rattle and hum.
What about defense? Do they need a legit second pair right defenseman?
Well, I think they do, but it's like a needle in a haystack. They're kind of unicorns. So if you could find one, great. But I think Nurse Wallman last year they were pretty good. This year they've struggled a little bit, but they're getting better. I worry about Wallman's health. I always worry about him being injured. So yeah, they do, but it's dollars in, dollars out. I don't know what they have, necessarily to trade. So I'm not sure. I bet they end up trying to get somebody, because Regula has been pretty rough here when he played this year, and especially recently when he played. So I think they will add a defenseman and probably a right-handed guy. But I don't know if there's any second pair righty out there that is available for a price Edmonton can afford.
Yes, that's the challenge, unless you're moving out a player on your roster, which obviously probably easier said than done. Al, let's get to the 60th edition of the NFL Championship, which goes on Sunday. And you have, in Super Bowl 60, the Patriots and the Seahawks. Who do you like and why?
I like the Seahawks because I think they're the more complete team. I think the Patriots are they're legit good, and they're probably ahead of schedule. And there's no guarantee you're going to get back. So you're in the Super Bowl, you want to win it. But I just think that the Seahawks are built for right now, built for this game, and they're healthy enough to do it, and I think they will. So I think it'll be I'd like a close game. I hate lopsided Super Bowls because I've prepared some food and I have a few drinks, and then the game's over by halftime. But I will say this, that I think the Seahawks are going to win it, but I hope it's 27-20 and not 37-10.
I don't know why. I just think I think it's going to be a big win for Seattle, which means it might go down to overtime. But I have a sense the Seahawks are going to win. I think
would be awesome.
I think they're going to win big. I just think the Seahawks being the better team, and they're going to show it here. And not that the Patriots are a bad team, but hey, somebody wins, somebody loses, and I think it's going to be the Seattle Seahawks who are winning.
Yep.
So
yeah, I'm with you on that. They're good all year. There are other teams that had great defenses, but they're not there. They're not in the Super Bowl. And New England's a good team, but it's the Seahawks time, and as long as they don't screw up on the 1 yard line, they'll be fine.
Al, have yourself a good one. We will chat with you on Monday.
Go Canada. You guys have a good weekend.
There you go. That is Al Mitchell, host of The Lowdown. We will take a quick break and we'll return. Wanye's World's up next. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hello. You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called your name today. You can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. Heading there now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother have the same name. Okay, I'm calling him next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpot's Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Sometimes you think about what you're going to do in the day. Go to work, pick up the kids from school, make supper. But at GS Construction, we think a little differently. Winter is our season to think, to plan, and to improve. We study, we innovate, we train. So when the thaw comes, we're ready to dig, build, and deliver even better, which means we need people like you. If you're thinking about joining the team at GS Construction, now's the time to do it. To apply and to see how we think, visit gsconstruction.ca.
If you manage or lead a team, join your peers April 14th to 17th at the Banff Management Course. PA Douglas Training invites you to 3 days of immersive leadership development in beautiful Banff, Alberta. Learn how to manage conflict, motivate and influence others, strengthen teamwork and improve productivity. Proudly Canadian, PA Douglas has trained over 150,000 professionals. Registration includes 3 nights at the Banff Springs Hotel, breakfast, select meals, refreshments, and course materials. Register now at padouglas.ca.
Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the move, you're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440. Download the radio player or iHeart app today so you can get all access anytime to Edmonton's only sports radio station, Sports 1440.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Measles outbreaks are occurring in Canada, including Alberta. These outbreaks are highly preventable. Measles is an extremely contagious disease that is spread easily through the air. The best way to protect yourself, your family, and your community is to ensure you are up to date with your immunizations. Don't get measles. Get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
February is full-on sports action at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Catch the biggest four-down football game of the year on Sunday, February 8th. Plus a pretty big winter sports event. Go Canada! Not a bad seat in the house. Tons of big screens. And Selly's menu is awesome. Small bites and big bites. Game night food and drink features. Dig in and cheer loudly at Selly's. At all 3 Century Casino locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
If you're selling a vehicle, Sherwood Honda really wants to get your goat. We mean greatest offer of all time. Consign with Sherwood Honda, and they can sell your vehicle for you. All breeds, makes, and models, not just Hondas. You can let Sherwood Honda lock horns with those tough negotiators, and you'll reach the interested buyers that flock to Sherwood Honda every day. Sherwood Honda's the goat of selling vehicles, including yours. So someone sure would...
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. Keep your game sharp all season long at 01, an advanced skating mill, classes to enhance shooting, stick handling, and more. Sign up today at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
A lovely Friday. How are you? And I just saw a scene there because they're replaying already the opening ceremonies. Whew, man, it looks pretty unreal. That stadium is fantastic. So I think just visually, it's very, very appealing. So you might want to check it out. Tonight, enjoy it. We got a few stats we'll get to Wanye's World in a sec. But here's some things for those of you. We had talked about this earlier, comment. On the season, the only team undefeated when scoring first in the National Football League, the Seahawks, 11-0. When they score first, they have not lost. Also, they are 10-0 when they commit one or fewer turnovers. Pretty good. And then here's just a random fun thing, which, Cons, we were talking about this earlier with the coin toss. The team to win the coin toss is 26-33 all time. The Seahawks won the coin toss when they lost Super Bowl 49 to the Patriots. The Patriots have never won the coin toss in the 6 times they won the Super Bowl. They never won the coin toss. That when they've lost the coin toss in 3 of their 5 Super Bowl losses. So when they win the coin toss, they are basically 2-3. And when they lose the coin toss, they're 6-0.
Can you bet against them going 7-0 in the coin toss?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That might be the move.
It's a fun little stat.
You can bet the coin toss.
Yeah, you can
Meaning
bet the
heads
coin.
or tails? Or
Heads or tails, yeah. Who wins and who wins.
you can bet who wins.
Yes.
I would bet against that 7-0.
But maybe they're due.
For 7-0?
Well, to win one. You're betting against it?
No, you're saying if the Seahawks win the coin toss, then the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
That's
if
what
you're
it
telling me
means.
the
That's what
Seahawks are 6-0 in the coin toss.
No, the Patriots have never, every Super Bowl, they didn't win the coin toss. They won the Super Bowl, didn't win the coin toss.
I can't continue?
Yes, of course it can. It's a new game. Easily. So, but I like that little stat there. 6-0 when they lose the coin toss is what the Patriots are. So it could continue if they go 7-0 and the Seahawks win the coin toss. So there you go. We'll see. Something. If the Seahawks win the coin toss and win, then they'll be 1-1 when they win the coin toss. If they lose, though, they'll be 0-2 and the Patriots will be 7-0 because both of their losses came to the Patriots. Interesting. Now, before we leave, hey guys, what do you make of all the teams and their sleeping bag ponchos? Oh, for the opening ceremonies? Yeah, that seemed to be a trend, right? That seemed to be a trend for quite a few of them. I don't know if it's like, is that because it's kind of cold but not really cold? So you have the extra, it's like a big shawl, but it's open at the bottom so the air comes in, but it keeps you warm. I have no idea how what the temperature was in Milan, but maybe that was why. But I noticed quite a few different countries had that.
I think it's a style thing. I think that's a kind of jacket people rock now. Remember the backwards Kangol hats that one year? And they were all wearing the...
I have never seen, and does anybody out there have like a poncho coat?
I've seen people wearing them.
Seriously?
Yeah. Like a genuine, like oversized jacket is a style.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Who knew? Who knew? Let's get to Wanye's world.
I would like you to explain to me, if you could, the legend of Buck Martinez, because I see he's retiring and it's, an event when a longtime broadcaster retires, certainly, but he seems to me to be extra beloved. And maybe if you could explain to me why Jays fans love Buck Martinez so much.
Well, because he became the voice of their sport for a long time, right? He had a unique voice. No question. He's pretty fiery. He's a very good storyteller for Buck Martinez. He's got a great recollection. I found that because baseball, not so much now because the pitch count and the time clock, right? It speeds things up. But man, beforehand, you needed a color guy who could really fill some spots for you. And so I think that's why he's kind of, just down to earth, but it's more so just because of how long he's done it. Right. So, and then he was also, he was the manager for the team for a while.
For the Jays?
Yeah, he was the manager in 2001 and 2, was he not?
He was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they let him go and kicked him up into the broadcast booth, or what happened?
I thought he was broadcasting before, but I'd have to he was broadcasting for quite a while before he became a manager.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So
he was the Jays broadcaster, then became the Jays manager?
Yeah, I don't think it was. I think he had left the Jays for a bit. Then he went to ESPN for a while. So if I'm not up to date on his exact career path. So I could be wrong on my dates, but I know that he was the manager in the early 2000s. I know he'd been a broadcaster before, but I don't think he went from the Jays broadcast booth directly to manage.
He won a sports Emmy as well. It's part of the broadcast for Cal Ripken's consecutive game streak.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I mean, delivered the best line about the Yankees.
What did he say?
This year, he said, they're not a good team. I don't care what their record is. They have a lot of wild pitches. They make a lot of mistakes in the field. They don't run the bases very well. They don't hit home runs. They don't have a chance to win. Buck was right.
It's fair. Man, we got a lot of questions. Hey, Greg's, my neighbor wouldn't answer me, but I'm wondering if you know who the separatists are rooting for if it's not Canada. I don't know, Bob. But I guess that's a deep question. You might have to ask him. So my neighbor didn't answer. Wild stuff. So, hey, Greg's, you're right. Buck Martinez, I'm pretty sure, was on ESPN prior to getting the Jays job as a manager. Yeah. So, and I think, like the funny thing about Buck was like he had a long career, but it wasn't always with the Jays. Like he was on ESPN. He was Baltimore's guy for like 6 or 7 years. So, I just people like him. You know, he's been in career, like he retired in the mid 80s. So, you know, he's been on TV in different forms for 40 years. So a lot of it comes down to just that becomes a voice of your youth or maybe, you know, you're depending on when you started listening to him, what age it was. And so I think that just connects to him. You know, Buck was always seemed to be pretty down to earth. I think I've had Buck on the show, you know, 3 or 4 times, not a ton over the 20 years we had him, but and I ran into him once in Toronto and talked to him for like 30 seconds. I'm not going to pretend that Buck and I are like, hey, like if I ran into Buck, he wouldn't know how it was, right? For sure. So, and that's fine. Like you're not going to know everybody, but he's a pretty good broadcaster. I thought he had a lot of good insight. So I'm kind of curious who they'll have on a full-time basis this year. So, because he'd obviously left, and I think the other reason why, you know, he fought cancer, then he came back from it. So, you know, there's lots of reasons to root for a guy like that. No question about it. So,
did Kevin Pillar show you enough to get into the booth? Because he was a part of it for the playoff run.
Yeah. I thought the struggle Pillar will have is like most players when they recently retire, they struggle until they reach a point where they're like, okay, I'm allowed to actually critique the game. That's always the challenge is, you know, they're like, well, I'm a player and I'm not far enough removed from it. And, you know, Strud's talked about it, lots of others, I get it. But then you reach a point where you're like, I'm not doing it justice. The audience is like, what are you talking about? That's not right. You can't just always, and it doesn't mean you have to like carve a guy, but you can make an honest assessment on what you're seeing. So that would probably be, I would think, where Buck was very different at that point. Cons he had way more experience having done it. And hey, he would call great plays, but he would also call a bad plays. And that just comes from experience and understanding it. So I think Pillar would be all right. I wonder if they have multiple guys do it at different times for the year. Right? That's what I would guess. So we'll see. Have a great weekend, everyone. Enjoy the Olympics all weekend long. Enjoy the big game. Brad, good luck with your Seahawks. Good luck. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Wanye Gretz, I'm Jason Gregor. Please don't drink and drive. Don't weed and drive. Get home safe. Enjoy all of the sports this weekend. Let's get to the Con Man and the Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payment, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter long. LegacyHeating.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
A felony assault charge against Penn State star Gavin McKenna has been withdrawn. He still faces 3 lesser charges, a misdemeanor for simple assault and a pair of summary offenses for disorderly conduct and harassment from the January 31st incident. In the association, it's early, but the Heat all over the Celtics, 19-4. Also, Pistons, Knicks tied at 8 apiece later tonight. Bucks host the Pacers, Pelicans in Minnesota, Trailblazers up against the Grizz, and the Kings will host the Clippers. Toronto Blue Jays longtime broadcaster Buck Martinez announcing his retirement today. He's been with the organization since 1981 as a player, manager, and broadcaster after being acquired from the Milwaukee Brewers. In the CFL, the Edmonton Elks extending fullback Jacob Hamondon through the 2026 season. In the dub, Oil Kings hosting Moose Jaw down at Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7 in the BCHL. Spruce Grove in Black Falls with the Crusaders host Vernon. 7 p.m. puck drop, both of those ones. And in the AJ2 games, Camrose in Bonneville. Whitecourt hosting Drumheller. The Golden Bears in action tonight hosting number 2 UBC down at the Drake. Pandas taking on UBC. But in Vancouver at the Saddle Center, you've got Bears and Pandas basketball with Lethbridge in town. And for McEwen, the men's hockey team on the road taking on Trinity Western, while the women will host Trinity at the DCA. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it's Fox Sports Radio all night long. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with the Saturday Sports Setup, followed by Hoop City with Paul Sir and Josh Fenwick. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order food